What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to another installment of the Casually Chelsea show. I'm accompanied by the lovely panel of Oliver, Real Chris, and myself, Marshalldbdx, your host. Guys, before we go ahead and start the show, the podcast, whatever you want to call this, be sure to smash the like button as it does help out our YouTube channel grow. Be sure to subscribe. We're on our way to 3K subscribers, and every subscriber that we get helps us out to achieving that goal. Be sure to also hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever we do go live. Check the links out in the description for more content. And in the comment section, leave a comment. I had to think about that one. I was doing so well up until I got to that point. But into the comment section, be sure to leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on everything we're going to be discussing today and all things that are spoken of. But a little bit of a snow lose week. Wow. A little bit of a slow news week when it comes to Chelsea. But we have gathered quite a bit of stuff and topics to discuss, and we'll be going over it together as a panel in a 2-3 hour format. So it's a little bit of a podcast. So big up to everyone who does listen to the whole entire thing. For those of you working and listening to us in the background, big up to you as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this show on the road, and we'll start off with our very first topic here, which is, I think, the first topic of the last show, which is Chelsea US tour dates. We've gotten more tour dates here, and hey, there's some good matches here actually for the preseason. So let's go ahead and discuss what we have here. So here we have from the Chelsea website himself, a third game is added to our USA 2024 tour with the announcement today that Chelsea will play Celtic at Notre Dame Stadium in Indiana. Our matchup against the Scottish champions, which will take place on Saturday, the 27th of July. Not a bad venue for them to play. I think it's very fitting. Then we have here. Wait a minute. Wait, what did I do? I did something wrong. Oh, I shared my... Okay, oops. Wrong thing. Anyways, and then here we had 3 days ago, we had the release of more dates as well. We've got the Wrexham game, Club America, Real Madrid, Man City, and Celtic. Really, really exciting things. I am contemplating going to that Columbus, Ohio one. Just because Columbus, Ohio is maybe, I want to say 8 hours away from where I live. It
Still
would be
an 8-hour drive.
It's an 8-hour drive. Yeah, it might be worth the trek. I'm not sure. North Carolina might be closer. I haven't looked into it. I think I have done the commute over to Ohio before, and I've done it a few times, so it's not too bad of a trip. And I wouldn't mind seeing other things in Ohio while I'm there, staying a night and all that fun stuff. So hey, that'd be a Man City game as well. Yeah, but no, I'm a casual fan, Chris. Remember, I don't go to the home games. I don't go to Stamford Bridge. So
driving 8 hours for a friendly. That's proper Chelsea right there.
No, it's not, Chris. Not Chris.
Only if you can drive to the UK, huh?
Yeah. And then even then, I wouldn't be a proper Chelsea fan. So. according to the Euro.
I actually hopefully we've got a new manager for the preseason as well, but that it won't be that exciting if we've got Poch for me. I won't be excited, but if we got a new manager, I'd be excited for the Man City game, the Real Madrid, and even Wrexham, man. I kind of want to see that game, man. I want to see Ryan Reynolds, man, leading that line. Chris,
let's be honest though. Are you genuinely excited? Because for me,
if we stack the manager, yes, I'm actually
okay.
We'll see what happens with the team. But if we got Poch, I'm like, so we're gonna lose, against Celtic, Club America, we might fight against City.
You think us UK guys are gonna stay up to 2 a.m. to watch that?
Oh,
with Poch?
I ain't doing that, Poch. Actually,
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna need a change to dedicate myself. I'm gonna need a change to dedicate myself to staying up that late when I've got work in the summer as well. That's gonna be.
Days, won't it? Yeah.
Yeah, something like some weekdays, probably some weekends. It depends.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we can't help it, Oliver. Chelsea's crack, man. Even with shit, we'll still do it, man. We'll still watch it.
Lucky I don't have my soundboard still. Still no soundboard.
You still don't have it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's still a long ways from getting set up. So it's what's annoying. My software for streaming when I'm not here on StreamYard on Casually FC, that has an export and import option. so you can just take all your settings and just put it into the new computer, which is awesome. Whoever came up with that, absolute genius. Thank you. You deserve a fucking Nobel Peace Prize. But they didn't do the same fucking thing for the soundboard thing that I use. So I have to do everything one by one by one, and it's a hassle, guys. Trust me.
It'll be here in like 3 to 4 working months, man.
You know what? It'll be here by the time we come back from international break. I promise you.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we will be there. We will be there. But yeah, I agree with you guys though. Like if Poch were to stay, which I am now more inclined to think that he's gonna get next season, no matter what happens. If he were to stay, then I think that I would not be at all excited about preseason. I wouldn't even consider going to that game anymore, to be honest with you. Like, maybe I will. Maybe I will, because I do want to be with other Chelsea fans. I do like the environment, being able to meet up with some other content creators too. Like I met Steve there. If I had known Jimmy Spliff was going to be there, I would have met Jimmy Spliff. I think I saw some people from the byline there as well. I didn't actually converse with them, but I believe I saw some people from that crew. But yeah, no, it was a neat way to like congregate with other Chelsea fans. So yeah, it is something that I would like to go, and especially it's Man City, man. Like I get to see some Man City players as well. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a Chelsea fan, but I mean, seeing Kevin De Bruyne play, that'd be awesome. I've never seen Kevin De Bruyne.
Best hope he's not injured.
Yeah, he might be.
God damn it!
At least you got to see the robot.
Yeah, I wish I got to see Gundogan play. That would have been awesome. But I'm 2 seasons too late for that one.
That's a shame.
That's how far we've fallen, man. We can't prop up many of our Chelsea players, you know.
What do you mean? No, it's not that. I just want to see other players as well.
Hey, this time Marshall gets to see Cole Palmer.
Look, our star
You didn't see Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
you didn't see Cole Palmer in the preseason.
Our star player is Cole Palmer, and maybe Nkunku.
I didn't get to see Caicedo.
We've got a few Enzo and all that, but like, you know, they got a long way to go. Some of these players, man, to become actual stars. You know, after game.
No, I get that, but it's still like entertaining to see. Like, I got to see Enzo for like 5 or 10 minutes. He was slowly being integrated into the team. I didn't get to see Caicedo at all.
No, Lavia.
You got to see Gallagher too, man.
No, not at all. I'm not at all excited to see the shake leg fucking merchant, bro. No.
Oh,
you'll be excited to see him get pocketed.
If you join Discord, you know.
Yeah.
This is like an inside joke at this point.
Yeah, join the Discord, people. This is the sort of stuff we get.
Link below. But yeah, so well, depending on what the manager's going to be, my excitement levels will vary. So I like seeing the dates. If they can add just one more date a little closer to the East Coast or the tri-state area, I would really, really appreciate it. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. I can't have the club to myself, you know, aside from what maybe the UK fan base may think. But I can't have the club to myself. I have to, you know, the club have to go everywhere. They have to be shared. There are fans all over the United States, not just where I live. So it's only fair. But yeah, so those are some of the dates that have popped up now. Exciting to see. We'll see what happens in due time. So let's go on now to the next topic I wanted to bring up, which was some updates on this Jordan sponsorship, which it's not. It's an update. It's an update, but at the same time, it's wait. I just realized something. Hold on.
What'd you realize?
Hold on. Oh, well, I didn't mean to do this screen, but this works too, I guess. Victor Osimhen just commented under this. Chelsea should focus on their current match. They are already.
That's not a real account.
Bro, look, click it.
There is no way that is a real.
Okay.
Yeah, 2,000 followers.
No, that's just the guy. That's just the guy with Twitter. That's just the guy with Twitter Blue, or whatever it's called.
I hate that. Elon, change it.
Yeah.
Elon extra money, man.
Marshall just got baited.
Baited in 4K right here, man.
Yeah, no, I
You really thought a journalist wouldn't have picked that up if it was actually him?
Bro, these journalists are focused on fucking paper letters from the fan base right now. Yes,
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, I think they wouldn't. They
Hold
wouldn't.
on, Marshall, bring up the tweet then.
M3 Marshall don't know that, really.
Oh,
No, with the Osherman comment. The Osherman comment.
That's not Osherman.
Well, I know it's not Osherman. Yeah. I don't want to be that guy, but that English is way too good. That's not Osherman.
Oh my god! All right, let's continue.
Okay.
Let's continue. So yeah, Jordan sponsorship. To confirm, Jordan has suspended talks with Chelsea until the end of the season. The loss to Liverpool in the final affected their image. Jordan would primarily like to boast about the third and fourth kit in the Champions League. There is no vision to replace match and away shirts. So that's coming from Lou Class.
Makes sense.
It does make sense. Unfortunately, yeah.
We need to win the FA Cup now.
I don't
Then
think
they will
even,
start talking.
I
No,
don't even
that's...
know if Europa would entice them.
Wait, so why would they stop talks after losing to Liverpool then? Because that was just for Conference League, by the way. And
Oh,
Conference
you
League
got a
is
good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like Europa League is the second highest European competition. Like that's before Champions League. So if we win FA Cup, then I believe they might join us. But yeah, they're not going to join us about Europe, are they? So,
it says here though that the loss to Liverpool affected our image. That was really, it was really embarrassing.
Horrible, that game. Yeah, it was embarrassing.
I mean, well, no, honestly, I don't think it's the loss in particular. I think it's the fact.
Yeah.
Sorry, I muted myself. I don't think it's just the loss of Liverpool. I think it's the fact of.
Well, he's running away.
Oh, what's going on with your microphone?
I'm muted.
No, you're just going real quiet when you're speaking.
You're like in and
out.
out.
Fine now.
Oh, I'm quiet. No, I'm quiet.
Yes, you're fine now, though. If you want to say anything.
You can't hear me?
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily just the fact that we lost to Liverpool. It's the fact of we needed some sort of European football to make sure we actually get that Jordan right. We can't be out of Europe. They're not going to want to sign with us or allow us to sign with them. So, that's why winning that Carabao Cup or winning the FA Cup or finishing in the European spot is so important.
I think it depends on who you want. What, echo?
That was a big echo.
Yeah, I'm adjusting his audio.
Oh, right.
Go ahead.
As I was saying, I think it depends on who you want to believe, really, because there are some reports that have said that Jordan just want Europe, like any Europe. There are other reports that say that Europa League is the bare minimum, so winning the Carabao Cup wouldn't have actually done us any favours in this process. And with that, I understand them suspending talks until the end of the season, because we'll find out then, either by winning the FA Cup or finishing 100%. Higher in the table.
I was going to say, Oliver, I was going to quickly say, by the way, you know, what you just saw, our loss to Liverpool was embarrassing and all that. Sponsors don't care how embarrassing our loss is. We could have lost 8-0 and say we got Champions League, somehow. They would come to us. All they care about is, showing their sponsor in Europe, getting it around the world. That's all they care for.
But are they confident we can?
No, that's why, no, they're not confident
exactly.
Because, we bottled against Liverpool, yes, but, if we do get European spots, they will have talks again with Chelsea, of course, with contracts and everything, because we can show their kit around. We are a popular team, we are very followed around the world. So that they only care for that numbers wise. They don't care about how we lose. It's not really that's gonna matter to them. But yeah,
I guess you're right. By the way, Prime, there's a lot of background noise happening with your mic, so I don't
know why. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why that is.
It's not echoing. It's just a lot of buzzing noise coming from your microphone. Try coming back in and out. Yeah,
that might
coming
be
back in and out and resetting things, because it's not sounding good. Do your thing. But anyways, I guess with the whole not getting into Europe through the Conference League, it's obviously going to stint our chances. And I think the ultimate goal for Jordan is always going to be that Champions League, because that's the one that everyone watches. No offense to Conference League or Europa League. I'm sorry. It's just not as viewed as the Champions League is, right? So it's definitely, when you are a sponsor and you're pursuing a sponsorship, obviously the reason for that is because you want people to associate your brand with another brand. And you want people to have eyes on that and recognize that brand, and when they go out and see that brand, associate it, and pick up on it, and buy product from it. So it becomes like you almost earn the consumer's trust. So obviously, the more exposure, the better likelihood of all that. So that comes from being in Champions League, is the best exposure you can get. Obviously, we're still in the Premier League, so we are highly watched, and we are Chelsea, so the allure is still there. But yeah, it's not the same without the Champions League. So we'll see what happens. Maybe if we do get the Europa League somehow by some miracle, then cool. We maybe we get the sponsorship, and cool, we can cook from there. So yeah, time will tell. Let's move on to talking about a new kit that's been somewhat leaked. They're not really a new kit, but more details on the kit that is going to be coming next season. So let's go ahead and bring this up right now. And here we go. Chris, this is your favorite thing every year, so we're going to discuss it. Chelsea 24-25 away kit leaked. This kit is mainly light beige, guava ice. What a dumb freaking name for a color. Combined with tangerine orange, team orange, and blue, rush blue. Team orange? Who names a color team orange? Anyways, I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big. I don't like what the collar does here. I don't like that it's mostly white. I don't know. I feel like there needs to be more blue in order for this to be a Chelsea kit. It just seems weird for an away kit. Maybe an alternate kit I could see, but an away kit, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Away kits are supposed to be a different color to your home kit.
No, I get that, but even for an away kit, this doesn't feel Chelsea to me,
I don't know about you, Marshall. I love white kits.
This isn't Chelsea.
I really like white kits. Do you remember? Have you seen the away kit in Lampard's season? That was white.
About the Yokohama one?
Yeah, but it was the one under Lampard in his first season.
Let me actually look at it because I need a refresher.
So look at the 2019-2020 away kit.
Yoko.
Yeah, that away kit was because we signed Pulisic, and it was meant to look like the American flag or the American national team jersey.
Regardless, though, I thought it looked really nice on all the players.
Yeah.
I just like white kits.
No, I agree with you.
This does look. It does look a little similar.
I just don't like everything else. I don't like the orange. I don't like maybe the shade of blue is a bit.
I don't like
off.
the texture on this.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
the texture isn't nice, and I don't like the orange Chelsea badge either. Because if I'm looking at the Yokohama one, and I'm not a big fan of the regular Chelsea badge on there with the yellow around it. That's just randomly splashed in there. But I do like the Chelsea badge being, for the most part, what it is, the Chelsea badge. But yeah, this looks like my grandma knitted this. I don't like that. Looks like it looks like I took cheap leggings and just put a collar and sleeves on it. Chris, you're the opinion I want to hear the most. Let the people know what you think, man. Oh, wait, he said he'd be right back. Wow. Oh my god. But yeah, it's an okay kit. I'm not a big fan. Some of you, well, to be fair, a lot of you guys never like the kits, so I've yet to even find a kit that the majority of the Chelsea fans are in agreement with. So there's that, but even I can admit I'm not a big fan of the texture. This is better than our than that home kit with the Croatian flag and all that weird nonsense. I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the worst kit I've ever seen. So yeah,
I guess what I will say to the people that don't like this, we don't wear our away kits a lot throughout seasons anyway. Mm-hmm. Even when we go to other stadiums, there's our home shirt is most of the time enough of a contrast to the other team's home shirt that you can just wear the standard home jersey. So you won't have to see it much. I mean, we haven't. Look at how many times we've seen the away kit this season. It's been little to none. I know we've seen it. It's been less than a handful of times we've seen the away kit this season.
Yeah. So I think it's all right. I'm not a fan. Maybe it might be one of those kits that like once you see the player wear it, it grows on you, which does seem to happen quite often. So maybe, but I'm just genuinely not a fan of this texture. But okay, let's go on to the next story. And unfortunately, no opinion from Chris on this one. So we're just gonna have to move on. Okay, next story I got for you guys is that we now have officially done the whole set piece coach thing. I did believe we discussed Cueva. I think that's his name, right? Cueva. Yeah. So Brentford will receive 750k to 100 million pounds in compensation for Chelsea, from Chelsea for their set piece coach Bernardo Cueva. That's a good chunk of money. I'm not gonna lie. That's a good chunk of money. But yeah, I believe last week we spoke about this guy being linked with the job, and Pochettino kind of spearheading the search for the project of getting a set piece team and a set piece coach. But it's been official. Bernardo Cueva from Brentford has now been selected. We did talk about this last week, didn't we? I'm pretty sure.
Recently.
We did talk about it recently.
I don't know the price or nothing for sure.
Yeah, well,
seems like a fair price since like set piece coaches are shit. So like Brentford's is they have a very good set piece system. So yeah, I'll take it, man. What's 750k to $1 million? For a set piece, what can improve our set piece? Is that right now? Like
he'll join next season.
Oh, he'll join next season. So we'll be.
Yeah, he's still got to fulfill his. He's still got to fulfill his commitment to Brentford.
Yeah, it does make sense, obviously, that way. So I will see well, we will see if our set pieces are good anyway or not.
Yeah. What I will say to the whole price thing is that compared to what Poch wants, which is a set piece specialist player, this is definitely more cost effective. Because I'm sorry, man, but if you put a Ward-Prowse in this team, sure, you might get a few more assists, but you still ain't defending them things well enough to get anywhere. So I don't care about the money, to be honest.
We're still going to need a set piece specialist as well.
Yeah, you want both, obviously, but Poch only wanted the player.
Yeah, but that's because Poch is an imbecile. I don't listen to what
exactly.
But in terms of the team, this guy will help us defend set pieces. But in terms of scoring from corners, we're going to need a set piece specialist in the team. Mm-hmm. People talk about him, Cuckoo can take them, fine, but he's not fit. Rich James is good at set pieces, but he's fat. Maybe Cole Palmer could be the guy. So, or Enzo. So who knows? But it's a good sign that we've signed this guy. I'm assuming he's one of the best in this field, because when you look at Brentford's record, it's quite good.
Prime, did you finish your sentence? I'm sorry, I can't tell because your microphone is moving mad.
Yeah, Brentford's record is quite good from set pieces. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, they have a good record from set pieces, and we've seen it this season. I think there's a stat that was out on Brentford this season. They were top of the league in terms of set piece goals or set pieces goals conceded, or at least conceded.
Yeah. I think it's the conceded part. I think.
Yeah. So,
I'm not 100% sure on that one though.
Yeah, I think this was needed. We never replaced Anthony Barry, I believe, right? That was Anthony Barry was the one under Tuchel, right? Tuchel and Lampard.
Well, yeah, he left under Potter, so
yeah,
hasn't been replaced since.
Gotcha. I'll read that in a minute, chat. But big up to Strasbourg C, big up to Ahmed for joining us. Let's continue on to the next topic that we have. Plenty of things to talk about. We'll get to the more fun stuff with the player stuff and all that fun stuff. But let's get to another bit of fun rumors that some people will find fun. I laugh at it. I don't think there's any grain of truth to it, but why not? It is the international break. The desert is dry and water is wet. So we know that. Is that what
you said to your ex-girlfriend as a sneak diss?
Yes. Actually, that's kind of a diss on me if she's dry. Damn. Damn, I need my soundboard. I need my soundboard
back. Hey, Marshall, don't sell yourself short, Marshall. Maybe she doesn't drink enough water.
Maybe she's nobody.
Yeah, she's dehydrated.
Maybe you are.
I should have been. You know what? Let's continue on to the next part of the show. There's some manager rumors out, guys, and I'm a little interested to see what you guys think, even though I know what everyone's going to say, but it's funny to see this even being there. But before we get into the manager rumors, let's talk about Riyadh Air sponsorship. So, last show, I think we talked about how Oman Air is no longer happening. It kind of just out of nowhere just poofed and turned into nothing. Well, apparently now, according to Matt Law, we are now holding talks with Riyadh Air. So Chelsea have held talks with Riyadh Air along with other companies about becoming Chelsea's new, or the club's new front of shirt sponsor for next season. So we're back again on the market. Chris Jurassic looking for some customers, right? Looking for some people to sponsor the front of shirt for Chelsea next season, because Infinite Athlete is going to be moving to the sleeve, and we will be looking for a new front of shirt sponsorship. But I don't know if there's many opinions on this. I guess Ahmed, will go to you first. What do you think about the whole situation with Oman Air falling through, and now with Riyadh Air popping up? And are you content with this?
At the end of the day, as long as we can get our front of shirt sponsor and we get a good amount of money for it, that's what all that matters. I think the thing of Oman was that apparently we weren't going to get a lot of money for them. And then they'd also kind of backed out of the deal they initially had of us. So that's it. And from what I know about Riyadh's kind of become that new main front of shirt sponsor, like how Emirates used to be another one. So, hey, man, we move.
Yeah, I remember when Emirates first popped up, and I was like, what the fuck is Emirates? And now they're like a nice luxury.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a luxury airline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you not know what Emirates is, Marshall?
Bloody hell, man. That mic is killing me, man.
You don't know what Fly Emirates is, damn.
No, I meant back in the day, like in the early 2000s when they first started to pop up.
Prime your mic, my friend, is killing me, bro.
Yeah. That's why I said Prime. Just mute when you're not talking, and you'll be good.
All right,
yeah, that probably makes sense.
Yeah.
It's also a nice plane. Look at that plane, man.
Go on stream for a second, Prime, and listen to yourself so you know what we're hearing.
It sounds like La Pasora.
La Pasora? What the fuck is La Pasora?
Garbage.
Oh, this man said La Pasora like it was lapis lazuli or some crystal.
No.
La basura. La basura. There you go. Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell, man. Hey. I'm chilling, man. All right.
You're hanging out. I got you, bro. Hey, listen, it's international break. We got Strasbourg Steve in the building. We got Ahmed figuring out what to do. So he couldn't find anything else to do, so he decided to come to Casually Chelsea. We got Prime with a dysfunctional mic. Oliver just being Oliver and disconnecting. And real Chris talking about Reece James constantly. So
don't start.
It is what it is. I'm not starting anything. I'm just stating facts here, okay?
Wait. Reece James discussions.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. No, I'm not allowing this to happen. We're going to continue on, okay? And then we're going to talk about now what I meant to talk about earlier, which was the manager rumors. So let's entertain some waffle here, okay? Chelsea's plan remains to stick with Mauricio Pochettino for now and assess the situation at the end of the season, which all of us knew. This is not news at all. That's how bad it's been.
No
I know.
fucking way.
But this one is actually crazy because it's coming from Fabrizio Romano. Let's go.
It's probably
Fabrizio Romano.
at least.
There's also been a story about the possibility of Antonio Conte returning to Chelsea as manager. As things stands, I'm not aware of any concrete contact. Conte is waiting for the right proposal, but there is zero to report with these two clubs right now. Bro, Fabrizio Romano is here.
It's not happening and it shouldn't happen.
I'm just saying.
This motherfucker hates young players.
It's the international break, and Fabrizio Romano needs to get paid because it's almost the end of the month. He's just throwing things around
man.
to see what sticks.
He's like those dickhead police officers that give you a ticket for going 5 over at the end of the month because he's a cop.
Bypassing that. Yeah, he says there's no concrete interest, so he's just making up fake news from a previous manager.
Literally making up fake news. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have put in Jose Mourinho.
Dude, this Fabrizio Romano guy takes the piss out of everyone's intellect if you take him seriously, because he can literally say anything. Look at word for word what this motherfucker's saying. There's also been a story about the possibility of Antonio Conte returning to Chelsea as manager.
That's good. That's good.
I'm not aware of any concrete contract. Conte is waiting for the right proposal.
Did you guys see him try and gaslight expressions over Gallagher?
He's not. By the way, he's not on a job, right?
This Fabrizio Romano guy just makes shit up. I'm sorry, bro. Like, look at what he's
He does have actual sources, though.
He does.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, totally.
But Conte is not a manager, right?
He's a free agent.
Yeah, he's a free agent. Wouldn't that be interesting, man? Conte.
You know where he's gonna get linked with next?
Part 2, man.
Juventus.
Yeah.
Ooh, shocker.
Ahmed, you showed me a Bayern link, didn't you?
Yeah, it was the Daily Mail though. That was the Daily
Mail.
Yeah.
That's where Fabrizio's getting these dead stories to mud, you know.
The thing with the Daily Mail is there's obviously Sam Mugbo was quite reliable, and then there's Mike Keegan, right? But like anything else that you just hear the Daily Mail name under, then you know, log off, man. You know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But listen, man, Conte's never coming back to Chelsea, and like we just need to. Everyone,
but Fabrizio Romano said.
Yeah, listen, like you know,
happen.
I'm just gonna put my actual head on and like smart cap head on, and literally this guy did not work under what's it called Abramovich for one season. You saw what happened to him the second season under Chelsea, and the shit that he did to me. He mentally scarred me from watching for one season of watching football with him. In the second season, to be specific, I'm never watching that shit again.
First season was great.
The first season you fucking won a title.
Yeah, I thought he didn't like. I thought he didn't like his football even the first season.
I said he mentally scarred us in the second season. Like that's mentally scarring football I watched. I will never watch. I pray I never watch that type of football.
Wait, this football this year is better.
I'll be honest. It's not. It can never get as bad as that.
It might.
Last season there were like some all-time lows, but it will never get as bad as that, bro.
Yeah, Steve, do you remember the game Chelsea versus City when we lost 1-0? Conte's second season?
Maybe?
Where Eden Hazard played as a lone striker and our whole back, like midfield and back line.
KGB scored that game. And KGB scored in that game.
Yeah, and like we just
he
sat back
outside the box.
Yeah, and basically, and even when we was losing, we weren't trying to press. And there's a point where you can see, there's a famous clip where, I don't know what City player has the ball, but Fabregas is trying to tackle.
I think Silva had the ball and Fabregas was just looking at him like, what?
Like, they weren't pressing. The whole team weren't pressing at all. It was the worst press I ever saw as a football team.
How do I sound now?
Wow.
That's better.
Impressive.
You sound a lot better now.
I just turned off my PlayStation.
Yeah, your background's off now. That's great.
Maybe it's a
I turned off my PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's fine.
There's a bunch of background noise. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you sound a lot better.
But yeah, this Conte stuff is not serious. Just ignore it, people. He's not.
Listen.
It
I
doesn't
know it's
make
not
sense.
serious. It's definitely not going to happen. It doesn't make sense, but just for the sake of content and for the sake of having an entertaining conversation here, gun to the head, a meteor shower rains down on Earth and only hits every single manager in football except for Antonio Conte and Mauricio Pochettino. Do you go with Conte or do you stick with Mauricio Pochettino?
I'm taking Conte.
I'd rather be hit by the meteor.
You need to be a football manager to get hit by the meteor, man.
Wait, you said gun to my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I pulling the trigger? You
can if you want.
I get you could pussy out, sure.
I
from your perspective, actually, what would you do? Would you stick with the Poch, or would you just
go
eat
for
dicks and go for Conte?
You go for Antonio Conte, obviously, but like that wouldn't be a great.
Yo, we just get raided. What the hell just happened?
Yeah, Sarcasm City.
Bro, we all know.
Hey, Sarcasm City, what's going on, brother? Happy 10K. I'll try to make it tomorrow. Go, guys, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to Sarcasm City. Be sure to be tuning in tomorrow because he's doing a 10K stream to celebrate reaching 10K. So big up to my man, Flawless. Congratulations. All that hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, especially the tears because he's a United fan. All that, you see it all paid off with his channel and the people he's got on there and the content he's making. But yeah, big up to him. Thank you so much for the raid. It's gonna be a good time tomorrow. If I can, hopefully I can tune into the stream and join you guys for a little bit. I am gonna be going away, but hopefully it works out. But yeah, be sure to subscribe and tune in.
Marshall's getting deported, man. Getting deported back to the Peru.
Exactly.
If you're telling me the choice,
yo, so actually,
if you're telling me the choice is Conte or Poch, I mean, I'd rather die, but the choice is Conte or Poch.
What about Lampard or
Conte?
I'm gonna answer this question.
Conte and Poch.
What about Andre Villas-Boas or Conte?
Steve, can you
twist the knife even more? Right?
No. I'm inquiring.
You're not.
Yeah, this is painful to think about.
A man can't inquire on international break when we got fuck all the time.
No, I'm kidding.
Conte wasn't that bad. He won 2 trophies.
Can I answer
Steve says Conte. Real Chris says Conte. Prime, what do you say?
He's saying a bullet.
Can I answer the question?
You can answer the question, but please answer the question.
Oh my God, Colorado. Damn.
Okay. I think people need to really think about this. If the choice is Poch or Conte, I mean, I'd rather have none, but you stick with Poch as opposed to go get Conte. Like, people don't realize how much worse this will be with Conte in charge. At least with Poch, as bad as he is, and as inept as he is not actively playing against us. If we had Conte, he would be making us suffer.
Must suffer. For those of you who are members, must suffer emojis. Let's go.
He'd literally be trying to make us suffer, at least with Poch. He is not intentionally making us suffer. He's just bad at his job.
I don't know about that, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm answering the question. Conte would be trying to make us worse.
Wait, but why?
Trying to make us worse. So I think again, this is dumb because I don't want either of them. But if you think logically, Poch would be better than Conte. He would be playing because again, these players don't suit Conte's style. He would complain and say he wants experience. He would be throwing players under the bus. He would not also be playing certain players either. Conte would make us suffer. People don't realize how toxic this guy is.
And not just Conte as well. Like, you think the ground is toxic right now. Bring that second season Conte ball back to Stamford Bridge. It is going to be nuclear.
Hey, it won the FA Cup. That's still second season with that terrible.
Oh, really, Chris?
Yeah, really. He won it with that terrible transfer.
He should have been sacked before that FA Cup.
Zabacosta, Bakayoko, and Morata as our transfer. That was horrible.
Chris, how old are you?
Cool. Me,
40. Yeah. Okay. Do you remember that FA Cup final?
It was one of the worst games of football I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was. Our football that season was terrible. I already acknowledged that.
I fell asleep after Hazard scored the goal.
I wasn't finished. Do you not remember how bad? Do you remember how bad that final was?
Yeah, William.
We only won that final because Phil Jones was stupid enough to give away a penalty in the box. Man United.
Hazard scored.
Like, I don't want to bring back Conte.
Yeah. I don't want to keep Poch. I think he's worse.
I don't want to keep Poch.
I think Poch is one of our worst matches in history. I don't think Conte.
I do want to hear the rest of the panel's thoughts too, because Oliver, I haven't heard whether you're Conte or a Poch guy in this scenario. Like, where would you go?
I mean, I'm with Prime. You know, I'd rather like if you ask me ultimately, I'd rather get hit by the meteor or shot by the gun. But if I had to pick, I'm picking Poch just because Conte was intentional sabotage, and I cannot have that atmosphere at the bridge ever again. Like, and to feel like that as a fan, as much as he wants to show Matt Law all of his memorabilia at his house and all that, I just don't care. I just don't care.
All right, and then Mr. Fence-sitting Abdi, what about you, man? You going Conte? You're going Poch in this hell eternity that you found yourself in?
In this scenario, probably Pochettino. I think the problem with Conte is
Damn.
The reality situation with Conte and Prime is slightly right, but if you don't give him what he wants, he will make your life hell. You saw what happened in that second season. The shit we had to go through, bro, in that second season. I don't care what anyone says. That is one of the darkest eras of Chelsea football history, bro. This era is bad, but that shit, wallahi, bro. Week in, week out.
Wait, so you think that Conte era is worse than the current one we're in?
The second season of Conte, specifically the second season under Conte,
it was bad.
It was actually disgusting.
Were we ever this low on the table?
No, that's not the point.
No, but I don't think you understand, bro. You know what?
You guys sound like United fans. I'm not gonna lie.
Is it? If you were to ask any regular Chelsea fan that has watched that season, they will give you the same answer I'm giving you right now.
Marshall. Lewis says that.
Chat. I'll poll chat.
Let me just say, Lewis says that one. Lewis says that's Carefree Lewis. He says that season was worse than 15-16 when we finished 10th.
Marshall.
So league position doesn't factor in.
Yeah.
Marshall,
for some people.
If Conte was our manager this season, do you think we would be this low on the table? Or we'd be lower?
So.
No.
We would be low.
Really?
No. We'd be low, bro.
Really?
Look at how bad Spurs were with Harry Kane.
You want to say Conte's second season worse than this season or last season?
His Spurs team were 8th with Harry Kane.
And by the way, I don't hate Conte. I don't hate Conte, by the way. Like, I think he is, like what he's done in his career. I think he's a very good manager. But if you don't give him what he wants, he is toxic. He's worse than Mourinho when you don't give him what he wants.
Yep.
It's like a ghetto version of Allegri.
And everything in this squad, no, he's not a ghetto version of Allegri. He's better than Allegri.
Yeah.
This squad is worse. This squad is the complete opposite of what he wants.
Bro, he would not want 90% of the players we have right now. He could. And you know what he'd use? He literally would be playing Thiago Silva week in, week out. Chilwell week in, week out would be happening. Just letting you know. Chilwell week.
Polls up for you guys in chat.
Guys, he would not. Guys, he would not have dropped Sterling. He would not be using Kearney. He would not use Jackson.
Yep. He would get Lukaku back. You know, he would make sure that Lukaku stays at the club.
Well, he would actually get Lukaku to cook though.
Facts.
So he would get Lukaku to cook, and he would be in 14th place with Sterling behind him.
Where would we be 14th? He's never finished that low in his life, like at Chelsea. No one
He would be cooking with Lukaku with Sterling. So is that what we've come to?
Yes.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Like, the guy knew how to get results still. He was still getting top 4. He was still winning trophies. He still had to get results. And this transfer was very poor, by the way. It's worse than this.
No, it wasn't. He wanted Zabba Costa, by the way.
Wait. No. He accepted. He accepted.
No, he didn't. He wanted Zabba Costa.
He wanted Sandro. Where was that? Where was Sandro?
So he didn't get one guy, Sandro, but he got Zabba Costa.
He wanted Lukaku. Where was that?
No.
He couldn't get Lukaku to come. What are we doing here, Chris?
Only one. The only one he wanted was Bakayoko. That was his first choice, by the way, and he stunk as well. No, he didn't. No.
He did. He wanted Zabba Costa.
He accepted it. He accepted it. That was not his first choice.
Ahmed, let me say this. Chris, Zabba Costa is a right wing back.
I know he is.
Sandro's a left wing back.
I know.
He wanted Chris. No, just listen. He wanted Sandro in the first summer. We didn't get Sandro. That's why we got Alonso. Use your brain.
No, he wanted him in the next summer as well. We was having all talks then as well. Yes, he did. He did.
Anyway, don't bring back Conte. He's the complete opposite of what the squad is. Don't bring back Conte.
I'll just say this on Conte as well. To the Chelsea fans that would take Conte back over Poch, do you guys want to do nothing in Europe? Is that what you want?
Yeah. It's European. I can't defend that.
That is true, actually.
I can't defend
He
that.
beat Celtic in a round of 16 with Juve, and I think that's it.
Yeah, it's really not
I
much
think
of
that's
anything.
literally it
Also,
in terms of Europe.
People don't remember the season we won the league under Conte. People don't remember. This guy almost sacrificed our league title because he was beefing with Costa.
Yes. He was beefing with Fabregas, bro. He literally didn't want to play Fabregas at all. It was Costa that actually forced him to play Fabregas to get a goal that we needed to actually win a league. Like, why?
Yeah,
what are we doing, bro?
Like, people talk about terrorism. Conte is the top terrorist. Like, don't bring him back.
Not
I'd rather
worse
have
than
Mourinho.
Sterling.
I'd rather have Mourinho.
I am actually shocked here. Chris said, yeah, we would be cooking. No, he said he would get the best out of Sterling and Lukaku.
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
Wait, I didn't say
Sterling.
Wait, I didn't even say you get best
How
out of
can
Sterling.
he? How can? Wait. To get the best out of Lukaku, you need to have wingers that are next to him that are going to do up. We don't even have that, so how is that going to work?
Well, how he got best out of Lukaku? He literally had wing backs and he had two strikers.
Wait, and also,
he didn't have wingers.
Yeah, wait. But wait. Let me explain this here. Gusto right now, yeah, is literally arguably our winger right now. Do you think Lukaku and Gusto would be cooking? No, they wouldn't. I'll even be honest.
Gusto at right wing back on the Conte system? No.
Ahmed.
Does that work?
People don't realize. Conte would have done, at least with Maatsen. He stayed for half a season. Maatsen would have been gone in the summer to Burnley or to whoever I wanted him. Conte would have used Chilwell and Cucurella. So, like, again, Reece James would have got injured during the summer. He wouldn't have stayed fit enough to start the season.
Right.
You guys don't realize how much of a terrorist this guy is. You guys don't realize, man. Don't.
And also,
his methods was terrorist. I still prefer over Poch.
Listen,
Poch is one of our worst.
Bro,
I'm saying I prefer him over. I'm saying I don't want either of them.
Yeah. I wouldn't bring Conte back. I'm not saying.
Yeah,
I
obviously that's not the question because
like,
I think
Marshall's
all of us
question
agree we
was
don't want
which
any of
one.
them. Yeah.
And
If you really had no choice.
We all know what Conte's next move is. When they move on, when Juve move on from Allegri, either this summer or next, they'll bring him in as another
international break,
project.
Vic. That's why.
So we all know he's going to Juve in like a year or two, maybe.
Ruin the project there now.
No, he's going to AC Milan. He's going to AC Milan.
No, he's not going. He's definitely not going to AC Milan.
I can't see that.
No, he wouldn't because I think his ties with Inter. Actually, that's not true because he went to Spurs and he had ties with Chelsea.
Juve hate Inter Milan as well. So
Napoli, he goes to
Conte
Napoli.
has no loyalty. He's not going to Napoli.
He'll go to Juve. He'll go back to Juve.
Mark my words, people. Chat, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
But all right, we finished the poll. Only 14 of you bums freaking voted, and I've worded the poll wrong, so I'm the real bum. But majority of you guys, I think, say that last season was worse than Conte's second season. So
agreed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we won a trophy that season. Still, I don't care how badly we played. It's still better than what we had last season. Last season was shit.
Last season was shit. That's just why I asked that question because I don't know. Last season was pretty bad.
You guys are comparing trash for garbage. Who cares?
Yeah.
In terms of results, though, like I don't mind results. I could give less a shit about football. People complain about Tuchel's football. Like, yes, it wasn't most entertaining, but we got results. So that's all I care about at the end of the day.
Bro, under Conte, we got outclassed by one of by a terrible Barcelona side. I don't care what anyone says. That season, Barca were average. We got outclassed by them. Like Conte.
That's the Camp Nou. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna defend his record. I'm not gonna do that because it's on the floor.
Whereas with Potter last season, Chelsea fans had a glimmer of hope that we could beat Real Madrid for some weird reason. So
that was weird.
We'll see.
I agree on that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and continue on then. Enough about Conte. But all right, apparently, latest news. We're gonna get into Bowley now. We're gonna get to Bowley, Egbali, Clearlake. Let's talk about it. So apparently, this was a quote Let's read it. According to the Zarkancella, Chelsea owners Todd Bowley and Begdad Igbali want to recruit 2 or 3 of the world's best players under the age of 23 for every position. I'm not a fan of this. One, I don't think it's even viable. And 2, I need to have a mixture. I'd rather have a mixture. I just don't want to be another Dortmund. I really don't want to do that. Like, don't get me wrong. I thought Dortmund was a cool team for years, but they never really accomplished much except being second fiddle to Bayern Munich for many years.
Got some pokals.
That is true. They did get some pokals, but I don't want to be the European, the Premier League. Yeah, that just wins like a Carabao Cup and a FA Cup from time to time. I want a challenge for the Premier League, obviously. I think most of us here do. And I want to be in Champions League and compete in Champions League. So I'm not a fan of this. I don't also know how this is exactly going to be viable without upsetting other players within the team. Because, you know, those kids that you're getting, obviously 2 to 3 in every position. 3, I don't think is even doable. But 2, let's just say you get 2 23-year-olds of the best of the world in each position. One of those players is going to be upset. One of those players is going to want game time. One of those players is going to want to force a move to get somewhere else where they can play games. Look at what happened with Cole Palmer. He had actual like class players ahead of him. Riyadh Mahrez, Bernardo Silva. And he wanted game time, so he left City, his home team, you know, the team he grew up playing in and trained in and developed in, and he went to Chelsea, and now he's happy at Chelsea. So I just don't think it's a viable strategy, but I don't know if anyone has any other 2 cents they want to add to that.
Bro, like the best 23-year-olds in each position in the world, the problem is not all of them are going to want to go to Chelsea. Some of them will want to go to Real Madrid. Some of them will want to go to Barcelona. Some of them will want to go to Manchester United, Liverpool, whoever the fuck else. Maybe they want to go to, I don't know, Napoli or PSG or whatever. Like, you can't get all of them. So why even, you could pursue it, but like, you won't. And also, look at the keyword, they want to recruit. Yeah. I want to have a bunch of whores in my hotel room right now.
Jesus Christ.
Am I making that happen? No. I'm just sitting here drunk, so it's all good. But like, there's wanting, and then there's executing, and then there's being realistic about it. And they could want that all they want. They're not going to end up with it.
Agreed.
They'll end up with a few. I don't doubt you guys still have some pull and, you know, good enough people to recruit good players and sell a project or whatever. You're not going to get all of them. That's why that key word in there is want to. Like, no shit. Yeah. Wouldn't every club on earth want to be 2-3 deep in width for every fucking position on the field for that formation, for that manager set formation? I think every club want that.
I think you're drunk, Steve. I think you're really reading too deep into it. Marshall, can you bring up the tweet, please?
I mean,
I don't know.
He's not wrong.
Like,
he's really
it's unrealistic.
Here, I'll pull it up in a second. Give me a second.
Cool. Let me actually speak. Can you bring up the tweet, please, Marshall?
Yeah, I'm working on it. So freaking demanding, Prime. Goddamn.
Ben Stilwell.
No, I'm just busting your balls, Prime. Give me 1 second. Boom.
Yeah, I don't like. I think the way they're stockpiling young players, I think they are overdoing it. But
obviously,
I get it. Like, if you want to bring in young players, obviously the aim should be you bring in the best of the best as much as you can. I'd rather bring in young players to the level of a Cole Palmer or a Gusto who are ready to come in straight away and make immediate impact, as opposed to bringing in a player like a Madueke or a Mudryk who still have another year or 2 or 3 of development. So what they're saying, like they're saying the right thing, and so now they have to put that into actual practice, though. But what they're saying like makes sense. That should be the aim, right? Of getting the best young players in the world, as opposed to waiting 2 or 3 years when they've been signed by Benfica or Brighton, and you have to waste 100 mil. So what they're saying makes sense. I don't get why that's a bad thing. What they're saying is right. It's correct. That should be the aim. That should be the aim of every top club, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Like every top club would want to have like crazy depth in all positions, and they're amazing.
No, that's not. They didn't say depth. They didn't say depth.
No, but they said they want world best, like under 23.
I thought they
said 3 in each position. Yeah,
2 and 3 for each position.
You should want to sign some of the best young players.
Well, yes, I agree, but like how much money we spend, we can't really afford like buying the best under 23 still. Like that costs like
okay, hold on. Real quick, Prime, before you go. Like, one thing I do got a point. Like, people want to say how much we spent on money and stuff. Oliver, can you remind me, how much did we spend? Or it wasn't you that told me. I think it was actually Curry Pirate. Someone told me we spent, like, what, 12 min on Dacho Fofana? Look at how he's playing right now.
Yeah, about 12 or 10.
Yeah, look at how he's playing right now at Burnley. You don't think we can flip him for 30 and make up that money plus more?
Yes, all right. You know, I hear you on that. Like, you
and again, these players aren't going to be expensive. I mean, some of them will be. Obviously, we've seen some of the price tags on some of the younger guys, but not all of them were that expensive. A lot of these guys were around 20 to 15 mil. You know, so
and that's why to say scouting. Like, I'm not saying we should get a Musiala, but you look at Cole Palmer and Gusto right now, one of the best fullbacks in the world. Cole Palmer, look how he's performing. Like, I'm not saying go waste 100 mil on Musiala. Go find the next Musiala. And we have that potentially in Palmer. We have one of the best fullbacks in Gusto. That use your scouting and actually work properly instead of just saying, oh, let me just spend 100 mil on Enzo. No, find the next guy. That's the point of it, right? Surely.
It is definitely about scouting because, like, I think we've talked about this before. With he's not really a young player, but with Victor Gallagher'S, you know, we've clearly only discovered him just now as a player who's coming onto the European stage. We clearly didn't know much about him when he was at Coventry. So it's about discovering him at that earlier point where the market can't demand 85 million.
Yeah,
and that's my thing, because this youth project was sold as we're going to find the next young players before they go. Like, we're going to find the next Enzo. And Gallagher'S was at Coventry last year. Why didn't we sign him then? And that's my point. I don't want us to be wasting money just for the sake of it. If we can find these gems before they go to Brighton and they play well for a year or two, and we have to waste big money. Find the next gems.
I just wanna add quickly. I think one of the things that we also need to realize is that the reason why at Dortmund does so well, or like a lot at Ajax, a lot of these guys, is that they scout really well, and they put a lot of money into their scout system such that they can get these guys when they're really cheap, such that they can sell them for even more money if they want to. In our case, though, we're just trying to do the opposite. We're just trying to get them young, help them develop, and then use them in our squad. And if they don't want to be here, sell them along. Thank you.
Sure, but at the same time at Dortmund, and I'm going to address Jester's comment right here. First, let me bounce off your point, Ahmed, with Borussia Dortmund. Hummels, Emre Can, Schlotterbeck, Kobel, Fulkrug, who else is senior in that team? Marco Reus. I could go on and on and on about players who are like 25, 20, that have been at Borussia Dortmund for years. They have a spine. Whether it's a title-winning spine, or only good enough to win pokals, or only good enough to make Champions League quarterfinals, they have a spine. So they bring in young wingers, young fullbacks, you know, someone like that, because they already have an established, like, senior performing core that have played with each other for years. The same thing at Real Madrid, just at a higher level. Like, what Justice is saying here, yes, they haven't bought many veterans lately, but look at who they have already. They have Carvajal, Nacho, They had Ramos, but whatever. They had, Carvajal, Courtois, Militao is not young anymore. He's like 26. It's like in his prime. You have Nacho, Militao, Carvajal, Ferland Mendy. You have Cruz, Modric, Joselu. And then you have, the young players, Tchouaméni, Camavinga. The thing is, though, Real Madrid are doing it in a way where Casemiro was in the building still, and they brought in a Camavinga. Tchouaméni.
No, I get your point. But the problem with Chelsea was the guys that we had that we could have done that with. We sold them because they were either too injury prone or they just didn't want to be here.
And they wanted to leave,
So realistically, we couldn't do that. Now, I think for me, fundamentally, yes, we are building a spine. I understand what they're trying to do long term, medium to long term. It's just about, first of all, I always say, get your first team correct. Make sure you have the resources to do it and then do it. I just think right now with us, we're just trying to go at 100 miles per hour. Maybe we just need to go down. We just need to be like, at 30 miles per hour right now, if that makes sense.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, trying to find young players and young gems and everything, like, it's all well and good. But I think they've gone way too far in doing that, where they've stockpiled so many young players, which is cool. But now our squad lacks quality in terms of the experience, and the experience we have just isn't good enough. Which is why I'm saying when we go this summer to sign players to fill up the rest of our 11, the players we need to sign need to be quality and experience. I'm not saying they need to be 29, 30, but if you're going to sign a 24-year-old, let them be of experience. You're going to sign quality left back. Let it be of an experience level quality left back. Let's sign an experienced quality striker. Let's sign an experienced quality winger. That's my thing.
Sorry, Prime, but we are doing that, no? Because I think we're bringing that. No. Like even last year, like we bought a Disasi who's 25. We bought an Nkunku who's like 26, right? Like I think like we're bringing 2 to 3 pieces every season. Like this season, we had another report today that we Gallagher'S we scouted him for a 3rd month in a row. So it definitely shows we're very interested in him no matter what.
Yeah.
And Osimhen we're interested in as well. The only young striker we've been linked with as well is Sesko, right? And then for the center back position, we just got a report about how we really wanted to pursue Ta, but because of Champions League we couldn't. But then our other option has also been, I know Diamande is young, but then the other one was Todibo, who's 24, 25 as well, right? So I think we are going for now that middle of age experienced player slowly. Like that's what I've been seeing reports of, at least so far from January onwards, is like we're going for the middle 25 onward players for the most part. Obviously, we're going to be still young, linked with other options as well in case we don't get them, right? Like, for example, we want Davis, but we're also scouting the left back from Bournemouth, right? Or if we don't get a Ta or a Todibo, then we have a Diamande or the French centre back from Lille, right? And if we don't get an Osimhen or Gallagher'S, then we're getting a Sesko. Like that's the 3rd choice, right? So it's like we are sure targeting the main ones.
No, I know, I get it, but that's just my thing. Like, because I look at us looking at left backs, and we're linked to. I think we're linked to this young player. I think he plays in Genk, and I'm like, that's
Archie
just
Brown.
Yeah, like if we're gonna if we're gonna sign young players, let them be of the level to come in and make an immediate impact. Sign me more Gustos and Palmers and less Maduekes and Mudriks. Do we have to wait?
But like, I mean, if we're gonna be honest though, those players are gonna be players that we don't know about. Maybe you knew about Gusto. Maybe you knew about Cole Palmer. There were people like Ahmed I knew about Malo Gusto.
Yep.
Steve knew about Malo Gusto. Prime, you probably knew about Malo Gusto. I had no idea about Malo Gusto. Chris had no idea about Malo Gusto. Majority of the fan base had no idea who the fuck Malo Gusto was, and he's come in and he's shown bits. Same thing with Cole Palmer. Yeah. People have heard of Cole Palmer. We knew Cole Palmer played against us last season and put us in a spliff. He had only played a few games, but people already were like, people were riding the Kudus train, and here comes Cole Palmer, and he's outshining anything that Kudus has done this season so far. So
and
at the end of the day,
having a good season, which is crazy.
Sorry. Bama Shila being another reason, another one too. Go ahead, Curry Pirate.
Sorry, to add on to that, it's also depending on the quality of the position, right? Like, no offense, but in world football, there aren't many quality left backs. So if we aren't getting Alphonso Davies,
very true,
or Theo Hernandez, or Grimaldo, yes, because then we have to go for the quote unquote unknowns, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, the known ones are the top three that everyone knows, right? The Grimaldo, the Davis, and the Theo.
I agree. I'm not saying like there's nothing wrong with going for the unknown. I'm saying of signing more players, sign me a Gusto level who's ready to come in and make the impact. I'm not saying they have to be known. I'm saying
like Anthony Robinson at Fulham.
No, not a Robinson, but I want a player who can make an actual impact right away. I don't want a Madueke or a Mudryk who they come in and they need another year.
But Prime, I get that. But for Gusto, we didn't even know how good he would be.
Yeah, that's my point, Prime. Like, you're not going to be able to know who those players are going to be.
No, because I'm saying in terms of for a Premier League team, because James got injured for so many months, then Gusto got the game time for us to see how quality he is, right?
Yeah.
And everyone knew he was the understudy. So maybe this left back, either the Bournemouth one if we get him, or the one from Genk, he might be the secondary choice to Chilwell based on reports. But then if Chilwell gets injured, which he most likely will, because our two starting fullbacks love getting injured, then he might have the game time to show us. That's what I'm saying. Right? Because
I know, but
before the start of the
season... Do you
season...
not get what I mean, though?
Yeah,
Does anyone not get what I mean, though?
Yes,
I get what you mean.
You're
Prime, I get what you're saying. My point is, what I'm saying is that, like, there's no way to know until we get them.
That's not true. I'm sorry to tell that's not true, bro. You can see.
I think that is true.
If you watch these guys play, you can see if these guys are really or not.
Quality is quality.
I'm sorry to tell you, bro, that you can tell if someone is got good quality or not. That's just the reality.
For example, Erling Haaland. For example, Kylian Mbappe. For example, Ruben Diaz. I knew he was going to be a very good player at Man City. For example, go with someone like Didier Drogba. I think he was wanted everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
But once again, they need the game time to show us. What I'm saying with Gusto is, we thought that potentially he was good. We all have to say with the little asterisk, is he good for the Premier League, right? Yes or no, guys, right? With every player in the world, if they're coming, so are they good for the Premier League? And if James wasn't injured, we wouldn't have known as soon as we have found out how good Gusto is. So I'm saying with the Genk guy, maybe the scouts or whoever is scouting, the same guys who signed Gusto and most of our players who we think are pretty decent for the prices we've got them, besides the Enzo and the Mudryk and the Caicedo prices, everyone else has been 50 million pounds or below, have been performing to their price tag or above their price tag. I could say for the large part. So what I'm saying is this Genk guy, these scouts could rate. We might not know how good this Genk guy is. And then if he gets the game time, we'll judge it then. That's all I'm saying.
No, I know. Wait, hold on. I know. Sorry. And I'm not saying I don't agree with you. But my thing is, like, even if it takes the Genk guy, a couple of months or half a season until this January for us to see that, okay, he's quality, he's one of the best young left backs around. That's what I want. I don't want us to sign him and us to, or if they left him, for example, and for us to say, oh, it's going to take him a year or two to actually develop. I don't want to wait that long, because I look at this squad and I think it's almost ready. I just need a quality manager and a few pieces to add in to really build this 11. And the pieces we bring in, I want them to be able to make almost the immediate impact. I don't want us to be waiting and saying that he needs another year, he needs 2 years, he needs 3. I don't want that.
Yes, I get that. But then you've given me 2 signings in Mudryk and Madueke that need the development. But then everyone else that we've bought has been over developed faster than we thought they would, right? The Gusto, the Palmer, even Fofana at loan has already 4 goals. He's way outdone his price tag, and how shit we thought he was. Sorry.
But that's due to good scouting, and that's my point.
Exactly. No, I get that, but you're giving me 2 examples of failures. I'm giving you more of their success rate, right? They might have a 60% success rate, but the way you're making it sound, I don't think you are making. Okay, the way you're phrasing it so far with just those 2 examples, and also just naming the very shining lights of Cole Palmer and Gusto, is that they have a 50-50 success rate. But I
only mentioned Gusto and Palmer because they're actually in our team playing. Fofana is unknown.
Gotcha.
Like, so he, to me, as much as he's doing great, for me, he doesn't count. Like, I can also mention Jackson. I can add Jackson into that list. He's making an impact and doing well. I want more of the Jackson type. I want more of the
I'm gonna back.
Fair enough.
I want to back Prime's point a bit more, because I think realistically, in the current situation we are in, we already have enough players, in my personal opinion, that need to be developed. I don't think we need to be adding more to the pot right now. What we need now are players who are already quality and are are ready to start, essentially, in my personal opinion. That's what we need right now. So, like, I'm sorry, listen, if the guy could be a great player, I don't care. I just don't. If he needs that time to settle in and learn his trade, you can buy him and then send them out on loan afterwards. But right now, we don't need him. I'm sorry.
I don't disagree. But again, I go back to the question. I'm going to rephrase it because maybe it got lost in translation, right? I go back to the question. How do you know, as a Chelsea fan, how do you know if the player you are recruiting is ready to hit the ground running?
I'm not saying I know. No, Marshall, I didn't say
or make an immediate impact, I should say.
So to that point,
I'm talking about scouting. Like, no, but like I've praised, I don't slander our scout network. I've praised them. My point is, I want more hits and less misses. That's my point.
But then that's where Curry But then again, this is where Curry comes in, and you're making it seem that our scouting has had more misses than hits, when the reality is, outside of Nani Madueke, who is also questionable. But then that's the way you're phrasing it. The way you're phrasing it, the way you're asking your question, your statement, it makes it seem
that's not true. I'm only using the examples.
Okay, but if that's not true, then why are we raising the question to begin with? That's what I'm asking as well.
And the thing is, you want more success than misses. Everyone does, but no one's gonna have a 100% success rate. So if we can look at City this season, with every transfer they've had this season for this summer, has not been good enough. Not even this season. Guardiola, Kovacic hasn't performed well. Doku hasn't performed well.
I've never said they'll have a 100% success rate.
No. But again,
Ahmed, and then I want to hear what Scott had to say.
Okay, so I just want to say quickly. I think the issue is we're not saying, of course, we're gonna get every single person 100% of the time right, but in our current predicament, we do not need to be getting misses. We need to be getting 100% locked on. This guy's, when he comes for us, he's going to be, locked and loaded and doing well. And now, yes, although it's not true, but most of the time when you go for guys that are well-known, experienced players, most of the time, and in their sort of peaks, they usually, are able to provide that, considering that there's the right manager and there's obviously, the right environment for that to take place in. The thing for me is that when you are going for a lot of these younger players, yes, I'm a big proponent of young players myself. You can see, yes, sometimes they have the quality, but they need time. And right now, I don't think this squad needs that right now. Like, again, I'll use the example from the game left back. For all I know, he could be good, amazing, and great. But the reality is, I don't need a young guy right now. I need someone that's going to help the team in terms of experience, because that's what we really need, fundamentally speaking.
Scott, I know you kind of just walked into this.
What is this debate about? Sorry,
I think, so based on what I'm understanding, is that it seems that we're talking about this whole recruiting multiple players in each position who are 23 and younger. And Ahmed brought up the point is that we need players, and I think Ahmed and Prime brought this up. We need players that can come into this team and make an immediate impact. Yeah. And the thing is, I agree. My question is, how do you even determine that? That's up to the scouts. And I'm saying that so far this season, and Curry said as well, so far this season, I would say that most of our recruitment, or most of our scouting has been pretty much hits and not misses. So there's really no point to bringing up the question. Of course, they're going to recruit people who are going to make an immediate impact. But, I mean, there are players that are still developing, like a Mudryk and a Madueke, but those are two, maybe two more.
Yeah, but Marshall, no. Like, you guys are acting as if, because Curry made the thing of, no one's been like at 100% success rate. I've not said that. I've actively this season praised our scouts. I've not slandered like Winston, whatever. I've praised them. The point is, I want more hits. I want more play, even if they're young. And I don't
then
know
again,
about
that's
them,
what I mean.
Why?
But that's what confuses me, Prime, is that you want
what
more
is the
hits.
percentage you're happy with? That's what I'm saying. Because
that's
Man City,
because there's no point in bringing up that question unless you actually thought that there have been some significant amount of misses. That's why it sounds like you're saying that we're not.
Because the reason I brought in Man City is before Calvin Phillips, they had basically hits. Bernardo Silva, Diaz, Cancelo, like literally everyone was hitting. Maybe just the goalkeepers were the misses until Ederson really for them.
Man City has to do what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying no, because they would be the bar that we would compare to in terms of scouting and how to get players for the most part, because they haven't been paying exorbitant amounts for most players, right? Besides the Jack Grealish, Diaz was pretty not that expensive. I think he was 60 million or less. Ederson was less than that. Bernardo Silva was around 60 million. So I'm saying if they're the standard bearers, right? And recently they've been having misses. I'm not saying you're expecting us to get 100%, but if the standard is slowly falling a bit too, then we can't expect, what is the level of hit rate do you want, right? Like, is it a 75? Is it an 80? Is it a 90?
I think you guys, I don't think you're actually listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what
I'm happy with what they're doing. And I want more of this. I like us signing the Gustos and Palmers and the Jacksons. And even though Carney hasn't really played much because of injury, players like Carney, keep signing more of them. I don't want players like a Mudryk where there's talent, supposedly, but we have to wait 2 or 3 years to really see what they're about.
Prime wants more. Prime is saying he wants more known quantities than unknown quantities. With,
but
that is what he's.
But that's what everyone.
I didn't say known quantities. I just want more hits, and particularly, I don't want those spending.
But that's again. Yeah, but this is again. We go back. You say you want more hits. Why do you say that? What are you implying when you say you want more hits?
Because even Steve is saying.
We've only missed twice, according to you. Nani Madueke and Mudryk. Everyone else has been a hit.
No, let's not even count that. Let's not even count it like that. I'm saying, like Steve was saying, every club in the world wants 3-man deep. I want more hits. Hell, I want 100% hits. I want every signing from next season to be a hit. Because I'm a fan of this club. I support this club. I want to see
You're exaggerating because I didn't say every signing.
Yes, no, but I'm saying, but that's never going to happen. I want more hits, and I hope we have more hits. But the way you're phrasing it, once again, is this weird, arbitrary way of phrasing.
When you say you want more hits, but then in the same sentence you say, I'm happy with the recruitment.
Yeah, so it's like
I don't think you're understanding how you're contradicting yourself.
Because the first one, the way you phrasing the first sentence is in the negative way, but then you're saying you're happy with our scouting, which is good, and you want more
casual, but me and Curry are picking up on the same language here.
Yeah, and I'm saying every person in the world wants more hits for their club.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, right?
I like that.
Continue.
Right, I can't lie. I'm not getting what's being said.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
we can hear you.
I don't get what I'm saying. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's the wording, but I don't get what I'm saying. I think
it is the wording. I think what you want to say. I think what you want to say is, yes, I'm happy with the recruitment, but I want 100% hit rate this time.
No, that's not what I want to say. No.
But then it doesn't make sense for you to say, I'm happy with the recruitment, I want more hits. wait, so then you're not content with you can't be happy with the recruitment and want more hits. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like logically, there's like a fallacy right there. Yeah, that's why it's confusing me. But I do want to hear what Scott has to say, because I asked for what Scott wanted to say like 5 minutes ago. I do want to come back to Scott. No, hold on. Figure out how you want to reword it. I do want to hear what Scott wants to say real quick.
Let me just reword it before Scott's go. I love what they're doing in recruitment. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep up with it. Is that better?
That makes more sense. But yeah, go ahead, Scott.
I kind of understand the point to an extent. The way I look at it, in terms of the wording, in terms of what I'd want, is I would want players who are going to come in and show a level of consistency from the start. Because I look at some of the guys we've brought in, the young guys, even those that have played well, I don't think have been consistent with it. I look at a guy like Palmer, right? He has been incredible player of the season, arguably signing the season. But we have had moments this season and games this season, and I'm not just talking the odd game here or there. There was a stretch of a few games where he wasn't performing to the level that we have seen from him. And you expect that because he's a young player. You don't expect him to be consistent all the time. That's what you expect from Sterling, Disassi, your Silvers, your Chilwells, etc. Right? You expect consistency for those. That's what I want. I want us to bring in guys who are going to have a level of consistency where, even if the ceiling isn't massively high, the floor is at a level where it shouldn't drop below. Like I want Aspes in my team, but not Aspes when he's washed. I want Aspes where they're going to perform a 7 out of 10 most games.
Yeah,
I don't care if their level is 7 out of 10 the whole time. Like they never get better than 7 out of 10. I know I'm never getting worse than a 7 out of 10. That's what I want more of. I want a couple more of those. Like we've seen, I'd say Gusto's been the closest thing to that, where basically every game he's played has been 7 out of 10, pretty much.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
That's kind of more what I want. I don't care. I don't care if their level's that high. Like, because you can bring guys in where it's like you're not going to play that much realistically when you do play your 7 out of
10. No, and I get that 100%, and I understand what Prime is saying. I understand what Ahmed's saying.
Kind of that season, which kind of sucks that we're trying to sell him, because I feel like he's been that this season when he's played. Like he might not be the best player on the pitch, but he will basically in most games this season he's been like 7 out of 10, whether he's playing right back or left back.
No, I understand that 100%. And at the end of the day, like we all actually agree. It was just a little confusing where we were going with it.
Wasn't. Scott, did you understand what I meant?
No, but again, I think it's because the wording you used. I think it's because just the hits and the wording you were using. That's why I was trying to work out what.
Yeah, I mean, English is my first language, so I don't know about you guys.
Listen, at the end of the day, we figured it out. So that's why we were asking. But okay, let's go to the next part of this, because one thing I like about the channel I have here, this Casually Chelsea show, is that I would like to believe that most of us on here are pretty rational. We try to look at things at a pretty unbiased way. Obviously, we do have our biases. Ahmed.
I am very biased.
But, you know, we try to be rational, right? We don't try to get caught in our emotions. We don't try to, you know... We don't see every Chelsea situation as a black and white one. There's a lot of grays, and I try to find myself somewhere down the middle. Obviously, I do end up having my opinions. I think everyone here ends up having their opinions, and we have disagreements sometimes. That's what makes this channel great. It's not an echo chamber. We're going to give you the news that we see, and we're not going to cherry pick and try to give you things that are trying to feed a narrative, right? But lately, I feel like with the Chelsea fan base and Chelsea content creator space, there's been a lot of cherry picking. There's been a lot of narratives being fed. There's been a lot of unfair criticism. There's been a lot of, just unjustified criticism about a lot of things, and not enough credit being given where it's due. But this isn't going to be a whole defense league and a whole monologue about how I think this is how things should be and yada yada. But I will say there's been a lot of talk about Clearlake, a.k.a. Clownlake, whatever you want to call them, okay? So let's get into this. There's been a few things that have been heavily criticized. Obviously, we have the international break. A lot of things are being criticized. Dry news cycle. So what's a better low-hanging fruit than the ownership? So let's go ahead and bring out these tweets and talk about it. So Chelsea have risked further ridicule from rival fans over a unusual hospitality experience after reviving a scheme allowing spectators to watch a match from a bed at Stamford Bridge. It will happen again Friday for the game against Arsenal in a crucial clash in the WSL title race. That's coming from Tom Gary. Then we move on to the next tweet. Chelsea have set what is thought to be the most expensive ticket price in Premier League by charging an eye-watering £5,000 for supporters to sit behind Pochettino's home dugout for the game against Man United next month. Oh, shit. I fucking skipped one by accident. So, as a result of the rising ticket prices as well, this is what, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. There's so much here. This is essentially a call and response between Chelsea, the Chelsea Supporters Trust, writing a letter to Bowley and Iqbali, Clearlake, and getting a response from Chris Jurassic. And in the end, I think this is the ending. I think this kind of summarizes it, but let me read it real quick. To be clear, we endeavor to have regular and strong communication with all our supporters across all teams and aim to enhance and improve this connection season on season. We welcome thoughts for our supporter groups on how to further enhance this connection. We think, okay, well, pretty much just political jargon. Okay?
Marshall, I've read the response in full. It doesn't really address any of the points.
It's just a lot of gibberish. I'll be real.
I'll go. Wait, hold on. Let me finish the tweets, and then I'll go to you guys so you guys can summarize it better. But let's go ahead and right here, basically, the Chelsea Supporters Trust wrote to Todd Bowley and Bedide Bali about Chelsea fans' concerns. Ticket prices, claiming a lack of engagement could lead to irreversible toxicity. They got a letter back from the CEO, Chris Jurassic, who spoke about the necessity to increase revenue to put us on par with our rivals, which is a very selective quote here. We will talk about it. Let's go ahead and continue on. Then, after the what match did we just play? Leicester. Thank you. After the Leicester match, I believe these were found across multiple parts of the Stamford Bridge. Chelsea's owners have been made the target of a Stamford Bridge sticker campaign. This was yesterday. This was probably found earlier, and as we're in international break, we need to look for something. So, target sticker campaign as dissatisfaction towards Iqbali and Bowley threatens to boil over. Stickers were seen in a concourse area at least one Stamford Bridge stand last Sunday. It is unknown who's responsible for the stickers and whether or not they will continue to appear within the Stamford Bridge. But the fans are making their dissatisfaction towards Chelsea's owners clear. And then here we also have in the stickers, Baghdad Bali, Todd Bowley, and Jose Feliciano are pictured as clowns under the heading Clownlake 3-Ring Circus. Underneath their doctored images, it says, "Get them out. We want our Chelsea back." And then you have a picture. Obviously a sticker of Roman Abramovich right there. So, I mean, Oliver, I'll go to you. Start us off by letting us know essentially what that letter was saying and what the response was.
So, in terms of the letter that the Supporters Trust sent, I think it was just addressing some things like they feel like that they are being... Obviously, the revenue needs to be higher, and they feel like that in many ways that the revenue is being risen at their expense and stuff like that. Big up
to United Spurs of America, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, Oliver.
Right.
Big up United Spurs of America. Thank you for the raid, brother. Always love for my fellow American waffle panelists and American. We don't like your club, but we like you. So welcome, Jacob, and welcome everyone from the United Spurs of America. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, because we are on our way to 3K subscribers, and you might enjoy the content here and the personalities. But anyways, we continue on. Oliver, by all means, continue what you were saying.
Yeah, so as I was saying, they were complaining about the fact that they feel like the club are trying to raise the revenues at their expense. There was also just some general stuff about like transparency and communication, and then sort of warning the owners that the line they used was like, failure to change or improve would lead to irreversible toxicity. And that was really the gist of it. And based on what I read from Chris Jurasek's reply, he didn't really address any of it. It was a very very diplomatic response. You know, he's not going to put his entire hand out on the table, as it were. So.
Yeah. Ahmed, I'm going to go to you. Do you think that the response from the fan base and Twitter as a whole has been overblown?
I think what the CST was saying, actually,
your microphone.
Oh, 1 second then. I don't think what the CST was saying was wrong, to be honest. I don't know, man. Maybe just me, but personally, I don't think what they said was wrong. Because if we're being honest, like obviously ticket price increase and obviously cost of living and stuff, it's not easy for these guys, right? And,
I get that, yeah.
And secondly, you know, the irreversible toxicity stuff, if we're being honest, this is something that I've said before, like where I do feel like, yes, you know, they've spoken about this in business or whatever you want to call it, but they should really be coming out, maybe whoever it is, whether you're Bowley, like Barley, and at least do some level of interview to explain what they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying to you? I've said this before. It's not, you can say it's going to hurt them because they're not going to agree with them or not, but at the very least, at least let it be known what they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying to you? And for me, listen, I get that everything like that. In regards to the stickers, for me, bro, you know, it's...
Ahmed?
Thank you first.
Oh, yeah.
What's he doing impression?
Clownlake got him. Clownlake got him. Oh, well.
Oh, no.
But I was gonna say, by the way, this ain't
Go ahead,
just
Chris.
Todd Bowley and Egg Barley like decision to rise the prices up. Like Roman was gonna do that because he couldn't move the stadium as well. He had to rise the tickets up.
Was I not speaking?
No,
you froze for like
you
10
froze.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Where did I freeze from? Because like I was actually speaking for quite a bit, I think. Do you know what?
In regards to the stickers, you were gonna say.
Yeah,
in regards to the
stickers,
stickers, and you froze up.
Ahmed, by the way, I heard what you said. You caught.
I would say in regards to the stickers, again, it's a nothing bagger for me personally because, you know, if you're not going to just say that in the stadium, bring up your banners and say stuff like that, then for me, the sticker will just get taken out, and guess what? We all go back to life. You know what I mean? You can just put the stickers back on again, but the cleaners will remove it as usual, and then what?
Yeah.
You just causing hassle for them.
Yeah. Again, I think for me, and you know, I think the big thing for me with everything we're hearing, boys, is that if we were winning and like you know, we even if we won the Carabao Cup, in my opinion, and or if we get like some level of European, what's it called, an FA Cup, this is not going to be heard about again. By the way, that's all it is. Like if we win anything next, you probably won't be hearing anything about this. By the way, that's just, of course, my opinion.
I think what bothers me the most about all this coming up and the time that it's coming out is exactly what I just said there. The time it's coming up, right? Because if this was after United, if this was after Wolves, Liverpool, that Carabao Cup loss, 100%, I'm like, yo, spread your message, say what you want to say, express yourself, do all this. But now that we're in this run, right? We only lost one game in the last 8, right? Now that we're in this run where we're in quote unquote decent form, I find it so tone deaf to come out and say all this. And then the owners obviously are going to look at their stats, are going to look at the run of games. Obviously, they're going to think, hey, we're doing okay because I don't know whether you want to believe that they know anything about football or they know absolutely what they're doing. That's whatever. That's your opinion, right? But regardless, they're going to look at how they are in recent form and thinking, hey, we've actually improved. Maybe Pochettino might turn things around. And then for this to come out, it's just an immediately dismissal of it. Like, I just think it would have hit home a lot more if you had done it after a really big loss like the Carabao Cup one. So
that's why I question this. That's why I question this. Like, what's the point? Like, what's the angle of this? Like, to me, it just seems agenda driven. Like what you said is correct, Marshall. If you do this after the cup final, you have more of an impact. If you did this back when we were losing games in December, you have more of an impact. If you did this at the start of the season, where we lost our opening 10 games, we were just losing and stuff like that, not playing well.
Exactly.
That has more of an impact.
Before Fulham, the Fulham match.
That's why all the hate towards Bowley, Bally, and the board. I mean, I'm not going to say all of it because there's some criticism that's valid, but the majority of it I just look at it as what it's nonsensical. You're doing this for agenda because you took over from Roman. You have no logic and common sense, and it's all summed up by you doing this. Like, what's the point? They're not going to take you seriously because what do you want them to do? They bought the club, and they also signed a contract or a clause where they can't sell for 10 years, so they can't leave. So, like, if you don't make these owners hate the club, because then they will ruin us. Don't make them be like the Glazers. These guys are actively trying. That's why I don't like. I try not to criticize them too much or at least I critique them, but like I don't go in on them too much because they are actively trying. You don't spend $1 billion on a company or business that you don't care about. These guys are trying. So maybe if less shouting and more constructive criticism and love, that would be more helpful.
Yeah,
but whatever, people will do agenda. So,
and the supporter letter, I get that. I get that 100%. The sticker campaign, I think, is stupid, but I understand the supporter letter because obviously it's not like we raised our tickets like what 5% or 6%. I think it was like something along the lines of 23 or 25%.
It was literally £19 extra, so I get why they're actually pissed off.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Yes, it is.
But at the same time, like, and maybe I'm an asshole for saying this. At the same time, it's like I don't have much sympathy because you look at the situation.
That is crazy. By the way.
Let me land. I have a hard time having much sympathy for the ticket prices going up as much as they did because of how much bottlenecking for the stadium has been caused by the Chelsea pitch owners.
That's what I wanted to mention. They haven't.
You are the problem, Ahmed Abdi.
That's what I wanted to mention.
Are part of the problem.
Thank you.
That's what I wanted to mention. Like, just in the.
Go ahead, Oliver, and then Prime.
Now, just quickly, that's what I wanted to mention about the pitch owners because in the letter they are not mentioned once. There is no mention of any conflict of interest. You know, there is context here. That is a major element of context, and they've left that out. So that is my main criticism of the letter. Other than that, I can't really have many qualms with that, with what they said, because at the end of the day, we're 11th in March, and that isn't good enough. They have enabled
it's not a position to be raising the prices like this. You're not playing like an elite club. You're playing like an 11th place club. But go ahead.
Exactly. And yeah, that's it really. Like, yeah, I've got nothing else to say really.
Yeah, I want Prime, what were we going to mention? Or what were we going to add, Prime?
Can I just say quickly, Marshall, if I may, before Prime goes, I wanted to add this point, by the way, that I've been hearing a lot more, which is this idea of get these guys out of my club and everything like that. But like, surely we are all educated enough to know that they've signed a contract that they can't get removed. Like,
we're not.
You know, and like
we're not.
You hear this,
I mean other parts of the Chelsea fan base. I don't think they are.
This is why, for me, you know, the reason why I actually like the way the CST have gone with like what they're doing is because I think for me, they're formal. Like they're formal. They understand the situation. They know that these guys can't go, and they're kind of at least giving them like a warning of what is going on, what's going to happen.
It's like an ultimatum of it, isn't
it? Exactly. Yeah. Whereas like the thing of the stickers, and I'll say this again, bro. Like, listen, we know where the stickers are from, whether we want to admit or not. You know who and the stuff.
It's not. I think it's inspired, but it's not.
Yeah. No. What I mean by that is that there's clearly like inspiration, right?
And there's a fan base, a particular fan base that.
Right. Yeah. There's clearly inspiration for it, right? And for me, it's just like, what can we control? I always say, remember, this is something I've talked about when it comes to Chelsea. What 100%. Can I control as a fan? I can't control the owners leaving the club, but what I can control is the decisions they try to at least make. We can force their hand if we do the right things.
Honestly, Ahmed, on that point, if you really, really want these owners out, if you really, really, truly believe what you're saying about the criticism about the owners and all the stuff you want to say, all the negative shit you always want to cry about every single day on every stream that you go on. You go to these fucking Twitter spaces or YouTube live streams just to fucking sulk and masturbate in your own fucking depression of, the owners, I need them out, all this. Listen, for the sake of my sanity, I'm not going to sit here and moan and cry about the owners every single time. It is very clear most of us, if not all of us on this panel, are not very happy with where Chelsea are. We're not very happy with the mistakes that the ownership has made. It is so clear. I'm not going to sit and bitch and moan about it for the whole entire time for streams and hours on end. I'm not a miserable fuck, all right? I have a life. I have mental health to take care of. I can't just sit here and sulk. But no.
Marshall, if I may, I want to add. Let me just add slightly. Let's add, yeah. The stuff you'll say, everything's correct. But if you truly mean something, if you truly believe something, yeah, I always say, yeah, if I don't want something, I do two things. I don't pay my money to the thing. Or 100%. I go out, yeah, and I go to the stadium, I organize, and I protest.
This is exactly what I was going to say, and that's where I wanted to land. If you truly believe that you want the owners out and you disagree with that, which you're entitled to believe, and I 100% agree, and I see where you're coming from, right? I understand. Like, you're allowed to have that opinion. You're allowed to feel that way. I understand why you feel that way. It's 100% merited for a lot of things that have happened. If you truly believe that, rather than sitting on your keyboard, chatting it up, and just talking so much shit and sitting and doing absolutely fuck all about it, how about you give up your season ticket then? Stop paying money to the club. Stop paying for the kits. Stop doing all the stuff you are doing that's actually supporting the one thing you don't want to support. If you truly want to stand on your morals, stop doing that.
Marshall, we know these guys don't have any morals. They're just complaining for this. Yeah. They're complaining for the sake of complaining, and the reason why I know this is because when you listen to their complaints, all they do is compare it to Roman and cry about Rome. They have no actual logical arguments against our owners. They complain about our owners and say they cry about the young players being sold, even though we did that under Roman. But yet they'll praise us using the money from selling the young players to buying Enzo, for example, or buying Caicedo. Yeah. So you agree with the signings that we make, but in order to make these signings, you have to sell young players, which you cry about. That doesn't make sense to me. It's all agenda driven. Majority of people.
Sorry, can I? Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna say the majority, but a lot of people, like, who are just crying and stuff about the owners. They're not making actual logical arguments. Some people do, fine, but like, at least the big noise that I see, they're not making actual points. And I agree with you, Marshall. We should be using our power, is that the right wording? Or our power or whatever as fans for good. Like, if we can get into rooms with these guys or into spaces with these guys, the pitch owners, for example, why not try and use that to like be talking with the owners and guide them in the right direction? If these guys actually care, which they do, then thoroughly giving them positive criticism and feedback is better than saying, "Oh, get out, you fat American! You don't know about football. You don't know what you're doing." How does that help them? If they genuinely don't know about football and they don't know what they're doing, you screaming you don't know what they're doing won't help. Tell them what to do. Help them.
Sorry, I would like to add on to the point of this whole thing. There's a lot on the pitch owners as well, pre-Todd Bowley, because Abramovich wanted to build that new stadium at Stamford Bridge, that weird cathedral thing. And then we had problems with that. He wanted to move, and the pitch owners had problems with that. Okay? And the same Roman Abramovich, who has given me the best times of my life with this football club, is the same one who, thanks to him and the detriment to him, is that we were $2 billion in debt. So how that wasn't a club that was sustainable, right? And we were selling young players. And if we're not going to move Stamford Bridge, and we're going to be sustainable and not under investigation for certain things that Roman did, we're trying to not do that with this ownership. No, but I'm saying we're trying to not do that with this ownership. Then we have to go by the book, which we know this ownership is trying to do at the very least. So we need to increase prices on something, right? I get the ticket prices, and I get the whole narrative. But if you're not allowing us to move, and I'm sorry, Stamford Bridge is in pretty much one of the most expensive areas in all of London, which is an expensive city, and the property we need to buy in addition to the ones we've already bought, we've already paid £60 million for, to even expand to 60,000, let alone more, based on how we want this fan base to grow. How is that possible? And if you want to talk about American owners, You know, a lot of American owners in NFL teams expect the city to pay for most of the new stadium. Most of the new stadiums in Louisville and LA and all this, 80 to at least 60% is paid by the state or by the city of that $1 billion stadium, and then the rest is paid by the ownership. This ownership wants to pay it up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I don't get is they're not traditional American owners in a way, because Man United's owners haven't built a new one, right? Yeah. Same with Liverpool. They're expanding the all that, but they're not building a new one. So I don't get this weird agenda. It's like, where are we supposed to get our money from if we still want to buy these players, right? If we're still hoping to buy Galacticos players, not even, let's say, Enzo, but let's say an Alphonso Davies or whoever might be next, right? Because we're all saying we want young players before they become big, but we're also hypocrites because every summer we're like, where's the marquee signing coming out? We're a big club. We need to sign a marquee signing every summer. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of hypocrisy with this fan base. It's like, we're trying to go by the book now, and you're criticizing them for what? And the whole thing with the whole, like, get them out. Yeah, we can't get them out. You know who did that? Roman, who gave it to the people, who gave the handling of this transition to these guys, the other handlers. The stipulation was that they couldn't take any dividends or sell the club for 10 years. In order to protect the club. Roman did that, not these owners. Right?
Yeah. And
then there was another thing, sorry to add on, but I'm forgetting, was it Bush? Bush was saying, I wish we had Jim Radcliffe.
Oh yeah.
Scott put a very good point. You're talking about the same Jim Radcliffe who apparently is making the Avengers a back end, but is also pulling a guy from Crystal Palace, and they're linked with Graham Potter, the England manager, and De Zerbi, who we have problems with, but who Bush had problems with. Bush also had problems with Inzaghi. He had problems with Tuchel. He had problems with every single manager besides Pep Guardiola. Wow, thank you. You know what? I hate every player in the world except for Mbappe. Give me Mbappe, guys. If I don't get Mbappe, I'm unhappy with this football club. This is the stupidest logic in the world. Before we even knew Mourinho existed, he should have said, I don't want any other manager besides Alex Ferguson. If we don't get Sir Alex or Arsene Wenger, there's no point. Who is this Jose guy?
Mm-hmm. But here, I go back to this, right? And maybe I conclude on this, unless you guys have things to add. But like, I understand that raising the ticket prices, especially at this point in the club's, project and stage and stuff, it seems very. God bless you. It's really insanely unfair. It's not merited, and I understand. However, I think instead of looking at the ownership and blaming them, I think what the panel here is trying to do is also make you realize it's not just the owners, it's the Chelsea pitch owners as well. These are the guys that are stopping us from having a better stadium so that we can have more seats and we don't have to charge more for tickets because we are not making enough revenue through the stadium. That's part of the problem. That's part of the reason why these ticket prices have hiked, because there's not enough revenue coming out of that stadium. Mind you, yes, there is also a problem of not getting enough revenue through Europe. We're not in Europe. That stinks. And that is on the owners putting the directors that they put in place, and those directors picking the wrong manager, or even the owners telling the directors to set up a certain project the way they did. So I understand that is also on them. But on the other aspect of things that they can't control is the stadium. They're trying to make progress on it. They're trying to get revenue through the stadium. All other clubs are making great revenue through the stadium that helps out with their FFP and their financials and all that stuff, right? We are not able to do that. And that's something that is a problem that the Chelsea pitch owners have to also be accounted for.
Marshall, one second, Bram, yeah. But Marshall, listen, I get this picture and stuff and some of the stuff that's going on there. Like, but if we're being honest here, that really is not got anything to do with increasing prices right now. Like, I feel like for the reason why I say that,
why wouldn't
the reason why I say that right now is because we're not moving right now. That's the thing. We are not moving right now. They're still considering options, and they haven't made a decision yet to stay or go from the stadium. Like, I feel like for me, with this, with the way the situation is, and if these guys, we know these guys are good at PR and everything, maintaining the prices until you've made a decision for me would have been a lot more of the smarter move. That's what I mean by that. The pitch owner stuff again is to do with owning the pitch. That's not got to do with the price. That's not got anything to do with the prices that's actually in the stadium itself. I'm
not an accountant for a billionaire. None of us are. Yes. So if there is a reason for why they did that, it's their reason. I agree with you. If it was up to me, if I know all the facts and I know it's doable, then I incrementally increase it over time up until the point where I need it to be to compensate for the fact that I don't have a nice shiny stadium that makes me revenue, right?
Also, if our club, but we could do that if we were doing what we were supposed to be doing, which is being in the Champions League and being a top 4 or top 6 team at worst. But we're going through our worst seasons, back-to-back seasons, in the last 20 years. So we're going through something unprecedented on the pitch, which is going to affect things off the pitch.
Yes.
And also, Chelsea fans are complaining about the hike in season tickets. But what else do you want them to do? They tried doing that, that thing.
The bed?
Remember when the bed thing, right? And people complained about that.
DHL, we've overpaid for 2, maybe 3
players. They tried to do the movie promotion. People complained about that.
Yeah,
there was no offense in the complaint about it.
People were complaining about every way that we make money, and then complaining that we're having slow academy players where we get the most money from.
So what do people want us to do?
We just Prime.
If you don't want to hike in season, then let us do everything else.
They just don't want the club to make money. Cool, that means we never grow.
Again, but that's where I go back.
It's not the fact they don't want us to make money. It stems back to the fact of they just hate Bowley and Ekbali because they took over from Roman. No matter what they do.
Yes, there is a part of that, yes. Yeah, so, obviously there is a huge part of that. The whole, and I hate to keep bringing it up, the whole xenophobic takes and all that shit. Yeah, listen, I think they're making mistakes. I think they're making mistakes. That's one thing I'll say.
I don't think the increase in season ticket is wrong, by the way. I don't. Yes, it hurts. It's annoying. I get it. And we're going through a bit of where I get the economy is bad for people and it's going to hurt financially. I get that. But
Scott, wait, what's Scott asking?
How much increase? I think we need to look. I think the CFC actually daily I think it's in the letter on the CST if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like 20% increase. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's something like that. It's been increased by
20% increase.
Yeah, I think it's something.
That's
like
a significant price. Yeah,
it's a big increase, bro. That's like
a big increase. I get it.
What you're telling me is we'll still have the. Hang on a second. We'll still have, in terms of the cheapest season ticket you could get, we still won't be the most expensive season ticket in London.
Thank you.
Do you know what?
Listen.
I hear that, and I just think that fundamentally the problem with a lot of the stuff we're hearing is because we're not winning on the pitch. If we win on the pitch, none of this stuff will be,
no one gives a damn.
So fundamentally speaking, there still will be issues, but they will not be as big as they are right now. If that makes sense.
DHL, do you think that when we make these statements and arguments, it's the only thing we're saying? Like, you understand that we're only pointing out. It's not. I don't think it's that simple. I think there are multiple factors. I don't think all of our fan base thinks it's like, because you took away from Roman, we hate you. Obviously, there are rational fans.
Marshall. You don't realize how stupid fans, particularly Chelsea fans, are. The majority of them are complaining because they don't like the owners because they took over from Roman. Let's just be.
I understand that.
You know why? You know why I say this? Because they are complaining without offering solutions.
But also, when they complain, they always go back to Roman. That's another thing.
What I'm trying to say,
they compare to Roman and offer no solution.
What I'm trying to say is that, yes, obviously, everyone has a right to complain. Obviously, we're only pointing out that there's multiple things that aren't being spoken about, and we're just speaking about it and bringing light to those points. DHL, I'm not trying to tell you this is the only reason why this is happening and this is the right answer and you're wrong. No, I'm just pointing out there's multiple factors that people aren't talking about. You're not going to hear this discussion on another Chelsea platform. I guarantee you. And if you do, please send it over to me because I would like to watch that content. Okay. But what I'm trying to say, Prime, let me land, please. What I'm trying to say is that, again, the ticket pricing, obviously the timing of it is horrible. I understand that. It was bound to happen. It was going to happen under Roman. And if it wasn't going to happen under Roman, it was going to happen under this ownership. You guys wouldn't have cared as much if we were competing in Champions League and all that stuff, right? That's understandable. I think it's because we're 11th, because of the timing of it. And yes, obviously the economy's not great. It's shitty. Part of it's happening because of the bottleneck of the Chelsea pitch owners not having a stadium and all that extra revenue that we could have. Part of that extra revenue not happening is on the owners, on the manager, or the whole structure, right? Other part of it is the stadium. Now, going back to my original point, if you want to stand on what you believe in, if you have morals, if you truly believe you don't like these owners, you want them out, then stop supporting them. You can support the fan base. Hold on, let me land, please. You can support the fan base. You can support the club, right? Without giving them money, without financing it. Yes. Oh, someone else would just come in and replace it. Listen, that's fine. As long as it's not you, at least you stand. This is a life lesson. It's good to stand on your morals. If you truly believe in something, then stand and stick with that belief. Be a man or whatever the fuck. I don't care what's the socially appropriate way to say that, but be a fucking man, stand your fucking ground, and don't fucking support into what's something that you don't believe in. Don't feed into that. People are going to say, oh, United did that and nothing changed. Like, no. United...
No, United didn't do that. That's the fucking point.
Yeah.
United. No. But hold on. Real quick. Hold on. United. I argued that United did start doing stuff like that. They did have protests, and slowly but surely, the Edwards was taken out. The Glazers eventually, slowly but surely, detached themselves from the club.
No.
So there was progress being made with United.
No, there wasn't.
Okay, go ahead, Scott.
No, there wasn't. There was no progress made because what people did is they did one little tiny protest where no one turned up because no one can be bothered because they don't care enough. This is the thing. This is what people don't understand. If you cared enough, you'd stop going to games, you'd stop buying merch, you'd actually do things. You don't care enough because to stop going to games means you have to take away an element of your weekend in a way that you get kind of time away. You don't want to do that because that stops you doing something fun. So you don't care enough. You don't give enough of the shit. Hang on. The whole thing with the Glazers thing, by the way, because United fans and English fans in general are fickle and they're stupid. And Mickey Joyboy can go suck your mum. As I was saying.
Jesus.
Hey, go and touch a woman. Go and tell me what that feels like. Come out when you know what that feels like.
Focus on your facts, bro.
No, I just want to cook people. People are going to talk shit. I'm going to cook people. The reason why the Glazers thing doesn't work is because they were to do a protest. A couple of them won't turn up. They'll make a signing. Everything goes away. They make a signing and they forget about everything. And that's what football fans are. They're fickle. They don't care. They don't give a shit. If it affects them, they don't care. So what fans want to do is they want everything all at once in exactly the way they want it without having to give up everything.
Obviously.
They're fucking lazy.
And sorry, can I add on last thing to that first?
I wanted to go before just before you go.
Okay.
I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Listen, I don't think everyone can have their own opinion, and I think they have a right to have their own opinion. Now, whether or not we agree with those opinions is a different thing entirely. The point I will always make here is that if you guys do not like the ownership, and I agree with you, okay, let's say these guys aren't doing well. This is what you need to do: go out there. Set up, collaborate with other Chelsea fan groups. If you want to collaborate with the CSD, get them together and actually protest them. You can do that in stadium. You can buy your tickets and then just leave at a certain amount of time. You can have multiple banners out throughout the whole stadium. You can actually go to Stamford Bridge, on a certain allocated day and allocated time, one protest for a certain protest to do it and have your placards and everything like that. And then you're putting pressure on that. But the thing is, Mickey, you say that, bro. But all I've seen personally, is chants and stickers. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying, bro. And this is someone that actually that has gone to games. All I've had is a few chants, one or two that sticker that Matt Law shown. But other than that, bro, nothing else, bro. Like complaining on Twitter is not gonna solve anything, big man. And I always say that again.
100%.
Hey, now Ahmed, let me ask these dumb fucks especially Mickey in the chat a question. Go and ask Reading Go and ask Sheffield Wednesday what protesting and what actually going and trying to change their club and what they're doing on match days. Go and ask them what it's doing. Both those clubs are changing around their ownership.
Oh, it's bad at Reading. Oh my god.
I was gonna say Reading are actually might be getting new owners because they've spent every fucking day and every match day, protesting, bringing banners, not going to games, scheduling walkouts, all this, that, and the other. The Bundesliga, an entire fucking league. What was it they had going on? They were about to sell their TV rights somewhere. The entire entire league scheduled walkouts, caused games to be stopped because they didn't want it. If people want it enough, they'll do something about it. If you don't want to do something about it, you don't want it enough. So shut the fuck up and sit down.
Sorry, to add to Scott's point about fans being fickle, Jim Radcliffe literally is proposing a stadium removal to their old parking lot, and people are still bitching and complaining. To the parking lot, to the extra parking lot, or to the extra cover, like literally, like I think 100 meters away from Old Trafford, and people are still complaining. So
no one's justifying the model, though. This is the thing. No one here is justifying the model. We're only pointing out other points of views that no one's talking about.
I'm glad people have the listening comprehension of a 2-year-old. My son has more listening comprehension with you.
Listen, people, there's a good amount of you guys in the chat that understand it. Like, you guys understand that it's like you guys know where we stand. Obviously, we're just giving you a fair assessment. It's not just one or the other. There's a lot of gray. Okay, this is life. Okay, life doesn't work with just black and white, yes and no's, and binaries. Okay, there's a bunch of vague areas that maybe people don't want to address, or maybe you want to be too lazy. You want the answers given to you, spoon fed to you. All right, but at the end of the day, my point in saying what I said isn't because I want to make a difference in Chelsea. I'm not giving you the solution to change Chelsea and have these owners change their ways. I'm telling you, if you really want to stand on your morals, then you do the actions. You don't just talk and talk. You walk the walk. So if you truly believe, if you truly want to say, I want these owners out, this isn't my club, I don't support this model, stop attending games. Stop buying the kits. Stop buying things from the merch store, the mega store. Stop doing the things that feed and finance the very thing that you don't like. And that has nothing to do with making changes to the clubs, but at least you stand on your morals, and maybe someone else sees that and also follows along on your path. And slowly but surely, it starts a ripple effect, and you get more and more people who want this owner out and actually start to make a difference and actually stand up on their morals, and then you get an actual difference. Because at the end of the day, too, real quick, Scott, before you go, at the end of the day, too, there is absolutely no fucking way that these owners are so fucking oblivious to how they're perceived in the media and how they're perceived by the fans. They 100% know they're not liked. 100%. It's no fucking mystery to them. The stickers, before the stickers, they knew they weren't liked. They knew. They hear the chants. They see on Twitter. You see Todd Bowley retweeting and liking fucking dumb tweets from Mason Mount or whatever the fuck. So it's like they know they're not stupid. I mean, to a certain extent, kind of, but they're not oblivious. Go ahead, Scott. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, do you know what's jokes? Is all these people that talk and complain and do all this nonsense, right? And the same ones putting these stickers that don't mean shit. They won't do anything because it's a fucking sticker that will get taken down within like a day. Like, cool. What's jokes is all these people will talk about, these owners are raising ticket prices to line their pockets. But then in one hand, and then in the second hand, we'll say, but us not going to games and me not buying a season ticket isn't going to affect them. But hang on, if it's going to affect their pockets, which that's why they've apparently raised the ticket prices to line their pockets. If it's going to affect their pockets, that affects them. If it doesn't affect them, why would they put their things up? Why would they put the things up? If it doesn't line their pockets, if it doesn't affect them, why would they put the ticket price up? Just to piss you off. You're not that special. They don't give shit about you. Like, they don't know you.
By the way, Joel, no one's called me a Muppet. Lucky Singh is talking about Jim Ratcliffe. Jim Ratcliffe, piss off. You're just a Muppet. He's a United fan. Listen, and even if you do call me a Muppet, that's your opinion. I could care less.
Hey, bro, enjoy Gareth Southgate. That's all I got to say. Enjoy Gareth Southgate.
That's jokes. That's fucking funny. Yeah. Like, and I'm not even saying that Jim Ratcliffe's a terrible owner, a good owner, anything. But the fact that I say there are people out there saying, "Bring me," I wish we got Jim Ratcliffe, bro, and he's wanting.
Crazy. That's insane.
Like they are trying to get Dougie Friedman to be in their backroom staff, to be in their scouting department. They're trying to get one of Graham Potter, De Zerbi, or Gareth Southgate, who none of our fan base want. Of those three, none of them. That's jokes.
Yeah,
that's jokes.
Did you guys also see the Mbappe quote from Ratcliffe? Like, imagine someone from our club said that and the reaction. You guys saw the Mbappe quote. Oh no, we want to get the next Mbappe. Imagine one of our guys said that, and how you people react to that. You know,
I just
think about
that. Again, for me, you know, you guys have had my thoughts on what we need to do to do that. Again, for me personally, at this stage, I think what the CST have done so far, I agree with. But if stuff like this continues and you're not happy about it, listen, cool, get the fan groups together. You know, I'm pretty sure someone like Mickey or anyone who's a match fan. No. I'm saying Mickey is in the guy that was in the chat.
No, fuck him.
Everyone else.
Fuck him.
All right, fair enough. But for me, my opinion, I'm just saying, get all the different fan groups together. Start, you know, coalition, and let's start doing stuff. If you don't believe that, and for me personally, a message to the owners that I have always maintained, by the way, and I will say this again, guys, you need to do some level of a sit down. The reason why Radcliffe is getting what he's getting now, the levity and stuff, is because he did a stupid interview which was PR driven, and you know, you saw how much.
No, but Ahmed, our ownership group did that literally the summer they came. Our ownership did the same thing, and it doesn't matter because that was then and this is now. Like, it doesn't matter. So, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't really care if they do it a sit-down interview. Like, bro, I don't, because the thing is, right, and Flawless has said this about Jim Ratcliffe. He doesn't trust Ratcliffe regardless. Show me, because don't talk to me. Show me what you're going to do. Don't talk to me with words. Show me what you're going to do. I don't care what you say in an interview, because like you said, it's all PR nonsense. Like, you've had however long to think about the answers you can give. Like, you've prepared for that. Like, you can't prepare for certain things in terms of, like, with your actions. Like, you just got to act. Obviously, you're going to have some logical thought behind it, but there are certain things where you just got to act in the moment because certain things have happened.
No, I hear you.
I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say.
No. Scott, I hear you, by the way, yeah. But the problem is, for these guys, they need to be hearing that stuff from them. That's the problem.
No, but again, fuck them. Like, fuck them. Like,
Okay, go ahead, Scott. I'll let you finish.
No, I get the feedback. You're allowed to give feedback, obviously. Like, that's what Twitter's for. That's what, you know, going out and doing the chants in the stadium are for. That's what discussions are for. Yes, give your feedback. I don't give a fuck. But if you really want, if you're going to be doing, like, it's one thing to give feedback, right? And it's one thing to do this for 18 months straight now. Some people have been doing this since before they even got to the club. Like, at some point, you got to do something. I'm not going to sit here and bitch about something. Like, guys, I bitch and moaned about my PC and how fucking streams were fucking lazy and, like, fucking annoying and lagging and shit. What did I fucking do? I save up my money thanks to the chat and thanks to everyone who helps the channel. I got a fucking new PC. I fucking did something about it. I got fucking balls and a dick. I did something about it. Like, I'm a fucking man. I'm going to take action.
But Marshall, that's the point. If you're complaining with no solutions, then like you don't have a right to complain. I'll be real. Like I'm not going to be as nice as you. You don't have a right to complain if you're not offering solutions. You're going to complain about every single.
At the same time, too, before you go, because I do want to hear what you want to say as well. But people keep saying like, oh, but it's going to take more than 50% of the fans and all. But listen. It takes one person to start a trend. If you really want to make it happen, you can do it, and people will follow. And then you can start.
Sorry, Marshall. Didn't we not have 50% of fans during the whole Super League? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Like the amount of followers we have.
Bro, they took the whole Kings Road, man.
I was gonna say they stopped the entirety of Kings Road.
No.
They nearly stopped.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's the stadium fans. That's not us in internet. That's not 50% of all global fans, of all fans. That's just the ones in London there showing their power. So do that. I'm sorry. I don't live right beside you guys. I live in North America. I'm sorry I can't fly every weekend to watch a game and support you guys. I wish I could.
Not filthy rich.
So you guys are there. You guys are literally living in the area. You guys showed what you can do.
repeat, I live in London. I'm not going to any stupid protest. If you guys are just going to complain with no solution.
Prime,
the Super League, we did it.
No, but I think Prime as well is because you don't care as much as these guys do. It's like you're pissed about what's happening, but you're logical and like have reason and on inbred, basically. So like
that is crazy.
Any chance to cook these fools? No, I don't care. Any chance to cook these fools, I'm gonna take it. Any chance.
Here's the thing. These guys don't care either, because I guarantee if a protest starts, I guarantee there won't be more than 1,000 people, and even that's an exaggeration. Probably 50 or something.
But like, also the point I was gonna make before, right? Everyone's talking about interviews and whatnot. I've seen Al Mubarak do one interview, sit down interview, and the only thing I remember from it was he was talking about Foden and Sancho. That's the only thing I remember from it.
Mm-hmm.
One interview I've seen him do, and that's the only thing I remember from it. I took from it. The only thing. Guess what? You don't need to do interviews. You don't need to do things. Just show me what you like. Just do it for your actions. Because like at the end of the day, you can talk and say all these nonsense and all this, that, and the other. Look what Arsenal done. Everyone ripped, like all Arsenal fans ripped into Josh Kroenke because he said I can't remember what he said, but he talked about like the stuff when they like just before they got Arteta or when they got Arteta and all this. Like I can't remember what he said or what the phrase was, but I just remember like all the AFTV lot just ripping into him and just shitting on the Kroenkes because all he done was talk. He hadn't shown anything. So don't talk. I don't care what you have to say. And I don't care if talking's going to help smooth relationships over, because at the end of the day, that's going to last for a week, and then you're going to play shit football again, and everyone's going to lose their heads again. So show me what you want from your actions on the pitch. This summer, show me what is the plan for the club going forward with your actions on the pitch and with the playing staff and the non-playing staff, etc. I don't care what you have to say. And no one else should care what these owners have to say, because saying does nothing. They're words. They're meaningless.
Scott, that takes too much common sense, bro. Come on.
Listen, guys. Yeah. In conclusion, if you're not happy with anything, combine, support, and protest. I always say that, man. That's the way to do it, boys. Simple as that.
No, Joe. It's not some. It's not some. A lot of Chelsea fans.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing too. Like, going off of what Ahmed just said, like you combine, do the protests and all that stuff. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's something that you have to persist on. It's something you have to like.
Yeah. Sorry, Marshall. Before you go,
can I ask you actually after Ahmed goes? I want to ask a question.
I always say, if you strongly believe something and you want something to happen, I always say go out, interact. Do it from the ground up. Do all of that stuff to her. That's what I do. Listen, I'm a member of the CST. Like I pay some little bit of money to them. Yeah, so at least I can get my voice heard in regards to that. Do something like that, mate. Or if not, send a strongly email to them. If not, get your guys together that you disagree with them. That's a support group. Get some other people together. Create a protest and make your voices heard. That's all I say. The problem for me fundamentally is that we're all well and good being so negative on Twitter, but Twitter's not going to relate to what's it called? It's not real life. That's not true grass. Grass is when we have more than thousands and thousands of people doing the same thing together.
Yeah. What were you going to ask, Scott?
I was just going to ask Vic. So cool. When was the last time that that an owner came out and spoke to fans and it was a positive, and it was in a positive light and it made a positive difference outside the Jim Ratcliffe stuff, which we've already said is PR, and most United fans with even an inch of common sense or an ounce of common sense don't trust him anyway, because he hasn't done anything. So cool. When was the last time that actually happened? Because I'll tell you what, it went really well for Reading and Sheffield Wednesday. And it went really well for every other owner that's come in and said the positive words and then hasn't done anything. Yeah. Kroenke, because the words he said.
That's why I say we're lucky to have the owners that we have. They actually are showing that they care.
And time will tell.
Listen,
though, right?
They might be getting things but they might be getting some things wrong. Fine, I'm not saying they're perfect. They actually do you want the Glazers? Do you want FSG? People can talk about that. At least they've won a Premier League. They've won every trophy. I'm sorry. Winning one Premier League in 7 years is failure to me. That I'm a Chelsea fan. I don't care. Like, that's not success. It's not. I don't care. Winning one Champions League in 7 years, I don't care about that. I'm sorry. I don't. So, like, would you rather have FSG's owners where you have to sell your best player in order to buy other players? Is that what you want? Should we sell Palmer in order to buy a left back and a striker? Like, no. Like, these owners are actively trying. So instead of crying like babies, constructive criticism and praise. Like, let's maybe try doing that. Like, you know, like, stop whining.
I think the way I would say is more so like, obviously people have the right to whine. Like, I get where you're coming from, Prime. Like, obviously
people don't have the right to whine.
You know, take action. If you're gonna complain and whine, you should take action as well. I get that, but at the same time, like, I wouldn't go as far as say like we're lucky to have these owners. I think we're fortunate to have owners that are willing to spend. Time will tell if we were lucky, though.
No, because the majority of owners in world football don't like really care. We're lucky to have the owners that we have.
But the question is, right? Big up everyone. Big up Marshall. Big up everyone. Big up Master Billion. Master B. Yani, Aaron William Scott. Scott's pissed off today. I don't know if it's a chat or any. I don't know, man.
No, it's a chat, bro. You saw how calm I was earlier.
Yeah, me and Scott had a nice chat on my. I done 2 streams in about an hour because I fucked up my own stream.
By the way, by lucky.
Wait, let's see it finish, Prime. Let's see it finish.
Your Prime has some that fucking respect, bro. What's wrong with you, bro?
Hey.
Actually, no, you know what? Just for that.
I'm joking. Listen, are we talking about the minority here? The ones that are shitting on the owners 24/7.
I feel like it definitely is a minority.
It's a minority. But
yeah,
for some reason,
they're the loudest on Twitter. Yeah, exactly.
For some reason, I don't know why.
Yeah, but you know what? But that's the thing I wanted to point out, though, as well as Ziad's, is the loud minority. Yeah, right. Or the silent majority. I don't know, something like that. But like, that's the one thing I want to point out too. Is like, it's really like so. What's the word I'm looking for? So not jarring, but it's like baffling to me that the one person that we know is like spearheading this whole movement and for the most part is like the biggest figure in all this is just racking up money from this, but he stands on no action as well. Like
fucking minerals.
Listen, I didn't say any names, but I'm just saying, like,
no, I did.
The people that, you know, are spearheading this, right? They're the ones collecting revenue and just, you know, giving you an outlet to just be an echo chamber and hear what you want to hear and have your, you know, little circle jerk of depression about the ownership day in and day out. They're just collecting money, and what are they doing with it? Are they protesting? Are they getting you any closer to the goals that you want? Are they getting you any closer to the ownership leaving or to the Chelsea that you want back? Uncomfortable conversations.
Basically, Marshall's basically saying their grift. Marshall take their grift, bro. That's what it's called.
Yeah, there's a lot of grifters in this.
That's why I say, Marshall. That's why I say, people don't have you don't have the right to just complain for the sake of complaining. You shouldn't. If you're not going to offer solutions, why are you complaining? Because the problem's not going to get solved.
Yep. And speaking of money, by the way, speaking of problems, I knew this was going to be a huge talking point, but big up to everyone, obviously. I think there's a lot of things that were discussed here, and I think for the most part, I think we had a pretty fair assessment. Obviously, we're not happy with the situation at Chelsea, but we know...
I'm happy with the situation at Chelsea.
No, I'm not. That's you, bro. That is you.
Listen, I'm going to Real Madrid. I'm going to Real Madrid next summer anyway, so I'm happy.
Let's go, Prime. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Listen, at the end of the day, like,
you sorted out your villa.
I know.
But at the end of the day, it's just about, you know, having a discussion about this. We're talking about things that I don't feel are being discussed on other platforms, especially Chelsea content creator platforms. That's what I'm just trying to have a discussion about. Like, let's be real. There's two sides to this thing. There's a lot of gray in this thing. So that's what I'm trying to get at as well. Like, that's the point of this channel. That's the point of me having this discussion. But also, again, it's not black and white. It's not binary. There are things to discuss. And one of the things to discuss, too, is the flaws of the previous ownership and what's going on with that and the results of that now. So let's bring this up as well. Points deductions or potential points deduction. Why? Because of bullshit that Roman was, you could say, forced or had to do for the club. So let's go ahead and bring these up as well. Absolutely nothing exclusive here. Exclusive TalkSport. Chelsea on brink of being handed severe Premier League punishment, according to TalkSport. And then you have the Chelsea Dodgers saying absolutely nothing exclusive here. Our issues are well documented, and we need to make sales like we did last year before a certain date. We also need to wait and see about possible charges from the previous ownership dealings. No one knows yet. It's all speculation and fear mongering, which I agree to a certain extent. But let's feed into this and see what the fear mongering is about, right? So Semi Makbel saying here, Chelsea may be forced to lift lid on Roman Abramovich's alleged questionable transfers next month in an ongoing legal case involving former Stamford Bridge director Marina Granovskaya. And then we have another here. The court hearing linked to application for full disclosure made by agent Saif Ruby in his dispute with Marina Granovskaya, set for on April 10th. Listen, we know that there's like some shady dealings between Willian and some other Brazilian players that were made some time ago under the Roman regime. There's a fear that we might get points deducted, which may or may not happen. I don't know. Things are yet to play out. But again, these are things that happened under Roman. People want to put Roman on a pedestal, which deservedly so. The guy did so much for the club. It was fantastic what he did for the club. There's a reason why we have the expectations that we do, and the where we have the bar in terms of what we want out of this club. It was Roman.
Marshall. So can I start on this one? Because I'll be real, the FFP stuff for me.
Just go for it.
So the FFP stuff for me, I'm actually not so much worried. This though is what is worrying me. The historical Chelsea case is what's worrying me, because obviously there's like some sort of now RICO case as on Marina Granovskaya, as we're seeing. There's also like and there's also the Premier League investigating our previous historic dealings, and that stuff here could basically lead to us getting a transfer ban and point deductions, by the way. So it may explain why these guys are basically been buying so many players, literally like non-stop, because they believe maybe after this summer there's a transfer ban incoming, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, but honestly, man, the Marina stuff, bro, is worrying. I'll be real. That one is worrying, because that for me feels like transfer ban incoming, bro.
Yeah, and again, like, I love Roman. I think Roman's been a great owner in this time, but that doesn't excuse him from the mistakes that he's made, and now our current ownership have to bear that. He's made mistakes. Maybe these weren't mistakes. Maybe these were on purpose, because of a situation with finances and stuff. Everyone's going to run the club differently.
Just quickly, Marshall. Adam, they're literally doing the same thing to Man City right now with the 115 charges. Yeah. They're happening since 2010, 2011,
yeah,
2013.
That's something different, though. That's not.
The point I'm making is that the time period that it's taking place in, that's the reason why.
Yeah, no, that's happened. That the 115 charges happened across a long period of time. That's why they haven't been charged, because they have to go through each one.
No. I'm talking about I don't think you get what I'm saying. I'm saying the time period that it's taking place in, like how long it's happened over. Whereas with Chelsea, it's a similar situation with these historic stuff. Because we've got some that's happened in 2012, some in 2014. I think the latest one, if I remember, was like in 2017. Apparently, there's a play in 2017. So, going back to it, bro. I've seen a lot of people be like, why have we been like snitching on ourselves and stuff like that? It's probably because post-Roman, the books are basically already open. So the Premier League, we're going to find out about this stuff, whether they like it or not, particularly once we had our assets seized, remember, by the government. Our government seized the actual club itself. So that sort of thing probably was already going to be revealed, whether we like to admit it or not. It's just that the club already took initiative beforehand to do that beforehand, because remember, the government had the book, so they were able to get everything beforehand. So that's all it is, man. But again, the Marina stuff is a bit worrying. I'll be real, man.
Yeah, I hope, because the thing is too, like you mentioned relegation, right? I think we're too big to be relegated, even though it doesn't seem it that way. But if you look at it from a historic sense, we are too big to, like, we're almost too big to fail. Just like Man City, 115 charges. Obviously, some of them small, some of them big charges. I think I can't see the Premier League standing on morals, right? And actually relegating these teams that bring him so much revenue. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it happening.
Marshall's right. I mean, the Premier League, the FA, England, you guys have no morals. In terms of all of this, I mean, this is not the first time this new ownership has done that. Almost like, quote unquote, self-snitch on the previous regime, which makes sense because if they've done anything dodgy, this new ownership will be the one facing the brunt of the blame. But if you kind of report it, if you kind of report the bad stuff of what the previous regime did, which the FA or England or whatever hated Roman, and you blame it on them, then if there's going to be any sort of punishment, you can kind of get maybe a linear sentence or no punishment at all. Because you can come in and say, hey, we didn't know Roman did this. Hey, that Russian crook, oh darn, blame him and not really take any hit on it, which makes sense. I don't see a problem. Rivals and whatever complaining or crying and or laughing at us or whatever. Nothing's going to happen. We're not going to get relegated or kicked out from the league. We're fine. And you're right, we're too big for this to have any real effect on us. And I doubt we'll get anything. Worst case scenario, transfer ban. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares?
And with the amount of players we bought over the last few windows, you'd like to hope that wouldn't have too much of a negative effect. You'd like to hope most of the squad's already built anyway.
Well, that's where the conversations as well about like managers would make sense in terms of some of the people we looked at. Like I mentioned it on Ziad's stream, where it's like people might not like it, but if you had to bring a manager, say we got a transfer ban, and you had to bring a manager in right now who fits basically most of the players we've got, and you have to make minimal changes at best, that's De Zerbi. As much as people don't like to hear it.
Oh hell no! No. What's going on here, bro?
It's cool. Makes sense. Again,
like pushing an agenda, man.
I don't.
So I guess we know where Scott stands instead of Almiron or De Zerbi.
I didn't say that. De Zerbi's my third choice on my list.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Who's the first?
On that one.
I'm saying if you had to go and get someone, it's the same discussion we had on your stream. It's like if you had to go and get someone where you don't have to change a lot and he can work with basically what's here in the eventuality if potentially we get a transfer ban, De Zerbi's the best option for that. Whereas other managers, if you brought them in, you'd have to change more than you would with De Zerbi. Is my point.
I mean, I don't think Flick shouldn't even be on our shortlist, to be fair. But what Scott is saying, I agree with though. I don't want De Zerbi, but like someone like him kind of makes sense. But yeah, I just think all of this is just like PR and fear mongering because this same shit came out last year. Do people not remember?
It comes out every international break.
Oh yeah,
it's just fear mongering. It came out literally came out last year. It's the same stuff over and over again, just to scare Chelsea fans and to boost up rivals and get.
In terms of the PNS stuff, yeah, that was last year as well. Yeah,
like it'll be fine until we actually get in trouble. I'm not worried, and we won't get in trouble. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
And the Fernando scored.
Enzo? Oh, Argentina's playing. I forgot.
They're playing El Salvador.
Yeah.
The goals are goal, man. We take that.
Fair enough. But yeah, let's continue on.
Argentinian under 12 scores.
I think these next few topics should be relatively quick, so let's just run through this and let's get to the juicy part. No Osimhen today. All right, let's get to the next one. Let's talk about. Oh shit! Hold on. Let me fix this real quick. Let's talk about Broja returning to Chelsea potentially, or it seems very likely to happen now. So let's go ahead and This is, again, criticism of the ownership. And if you want to criticize the ownership and who they recruited as the directors, this is your chance to do so, all right? Fulham are set to trigger a £4 million payment to Chelsea for Armando Broja under the terms of his January loan deal, unless he starts every remaining game this season. Then we have the next part of the next detail on this is Fulham are set to trigger a £4 million payment to Chelsea to Armando Broja under the terms of his loan deal. The specific terms of the deal are that Fulham would pay nothing if Broja played 60% or more of the matches, which, yeah, he has to play the remaining games. And
they've already missed that threshold, by the way.
Yeah, it's already too late.
Let me ask you something. Was this a bad loan, or was this really bad timing?
No, bad loan.
Okay.
Bro, they also found a gem. That striker that they got.
No, that striker scored the game before we sent Broja to them.
No, but I'm saying they found a gem in him though. Like he's actually.
No, but can I just put something out? This is a guy. I go back to the conversation we had about Santos in the summer. That Muñez guy has been trusted in games to come on in games by Silva. Like he's been trusted to be brought on in games. Like it's a bit unfortunate in terms of timing as well. You didn't know who was going to pop off this bad, but like I also kind of understand it where it's like this is the issue, and like I look at it and go, Wolves were right there, didn't have a striker, legit just got rid of a striker back to the Bundesliga. Don't currently really have a proper striker. He could have been thriving there. You didn't send him there. You sent him to Fulham. And I think we need to realize now, by the way, with this and the Santos thing, these clubs don't give a shit about these financial penalties they have to pay. Because guess what? I'm just looking it up right now. Let's just say, for example, that I think this is for this year, by the way. I'm looking at the prize money that you get for where you finish based on the Premier League position, right? Say, for example, the difference between having Broja and Muñez in your team is 2 positions. Does anyone want to guess how much that you make difference between those 2 positions?
20 million.
4.4 million. Exactly what they would have had to pay anyway.
Oh, damn.
So it doesn't matter. If these guys can get higher up the table with Muñez as opposed to Broja, these financial penalties don't matter. I understand it's a good way to try and get these guys to play, but we're seeing with Nottingham Forest, they didn't give a shit. We're seeing with Fulham, they don't give a shit. These kind of clubs, these Premier League clubs, more often than not, unless they're really broke, which if they're in the Prem, they're not really going to be, they don't give a shit. Championship clubs, it's a different conversation. But Premier League clubs, they don't care.
I get where you're coming from, Scott, but in another point of view, don't you think it's kind of a win-win for the ownership? Because, like, okay,
why?
I understand
his
that
value's
right
tanked
now.
His value's
Wait, hold on.
They've
I get
made
that.
4 million. Cool, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done for making 4 million. But you may have just tanked his valuation by 10 million. Cool. So you made 10 million less than you could have made if you just sent him to a good loan. Like, no, there's no way which they come out of this looking good because it's another failed loan. He hasn't started a game so far.
I understand that, but at the same time, though, like the way I see it, there are two perspectives that I see in this, right? One, I'm not sure if any loan would have been successful for him because it just wasn't working at Chelsea. I don't know if maybe another system would have helped him. Maybe, who knows? Maybe a better loan. I don't know. Or maybe he would have still been shit. I think in the sense that I say it maybe is a win-win for the ownership is that I feel like this is not going to be the first or the last time we're going to see this. We're going to see a lot of these kinds of loans where you have to pay a certain amount if you don't meet the fee. And it's kind of a win-win in the sense of like either you're going to play the player and he's going to develop and you're going to raise the price on him, or you're just going to pay us 4 million. This other club 2 million. This other club 5 million. It adds up after a while, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
And we still get the player, even though like I still think like even if we kept Broja or if he got on another loan, who's to say if his value would have gone up? Really, I don't know.
Okay, so Marshall, let's do this. Say we'd send him to a club where he was playing consistent minutes. Forget form. Let's just say playing consistent minutes. And let's say actually he's doing at least a 6 out of 10 most games. What would you say that his valuation would be at that point? What would you say we could get? If he was consistently
getting a 6 out of 10, from January onward.
Yeah.
I would say,
I'll say this, for a Premier League level team.
I would say that his price would probably be somewhere from 25 to 30. We could probably get from him.
Wow, that's low for me.
Because I listen. I know they put a 50 million pound price tag on him.
35. I was saying you could at least get 35, at least.
I don't know, because the beginning of the season, Broja was not good.
No, that's fair, but we've already seen that he can be. And I'm saying if he gets consistent minutes and gets back to that. My point is now with this, like, what if someone comes in from who's paying more than 25 million in the summer for Broja? This summer,
there's not really many.
But theoretically speaking, as I said, that's 10 million that you've missed out on. Cool, you get the 4 million, that's 6 million. That's my point. Is like you're getting all these short-term benefits in terms of you get a little 4 million, 2 million here. That's cool. This is the same shit I used to get pissed off at Roman for doing and Marina for them renewing contracts for a year and getting a little $1 million here loan fee when you could have just sold the dude for 10 mil and just got that 10 mil. And it's the same nonsense of like, if you want to sell him, he needs to play. Fuck the 4 million nonsense that you might get. If you don't sell him, you're inevitably going to let him leave on a free or sell him for a cut price. Those are the two options because he has no future.
Yeah, I don't think he has a future.
He has no future.
I hate to say that.
If he doesn't play, then the only thing you can go off is what you've seen in terms of since the injury. So since the injury, there's been nothing, like legit nothing. So like, if I'm a Premier League team, why? I've just got to think about this logically. Why would I go and spend like 30 million on him or 35 million when I can go and get someone like a Ben Brereton Diaz, who's going to cost me a lot less, has already shown that he can score goals in multiple different leagues, and has like grew up in this country, already has knowledge of how to play in this country. Like it's the same thing. You've got to put these guys in a shop window. The reason why so many of us are talking about Matson's gone and he's 100% being bought in the summer is because most of us believe he's getting bought because he's by Dortmund because of the season he's had. And if he doesn't, he's getting bought by another club because of the season he's had. Like, if he didn't like, what's it called? If he wasn't performing, Matson, none of us would think he's going in the summer.
Yeah, but Scott, on paper, isn't Broja to Fulham a good move?
Like, I mean,
I think he should be starting week in, week out for that team. If he's not starting for Fulham week in, week out, what the hell's going on?
Because he's not the manager's first choice, and he was going in already on the back foot. And my point is like, it's more what it is a case of, and what it highlights to me. It's the same thing I was talking about with the Santos thing, and the same thing I've talked about before. And it was the same thing about the Fofana thing when he was linked with Sevilla. It's all about identifying the right loan move. You had clubs interested in him that I thought were a better fit, right? It's about fit.
West
and it's
Ham,
like,
right? West Ham was interested, right? I
West
believe
Ham
that were another
in the summer, I believe.
Previously,
but
West Ham's a good example, right? They're playing Owen up front. They're playing Kudus up front at the time. They're playing Antonio's on the bench. They don't really have another option. So that could have been one. But the better one was Wolves. Wolves was right there, and you priced them out of it by trying to get 50 million.
Who's dealing with these loans?
Oh, I think that's Lawrence Stewart, right?
When people talk about not criticizing the ownership group and this and whatnot, the loans this season have been the biggest, the most damning indictment for them this season. Because the loans are the one thing. Say again?
Is that sporting directors?
That's all of the above.
Yeah,
like
fucking
all
sporting
of the
directors and whatever.
It's all of the above.
You know, they're being told.
Like
I get you.
The loan system, considering our model, what we're going for right now, the loan system is so key because we physically don't have the space to develop all the players we want to. So you have to send these guys on loans to develop. So if you're fucking the loans up, then you're completely fucking your own model up. And if you're fucking your own model up, then what have we got to get behind? So like the loans are so key, and you fucked most of them up, including this one. And so it's like, why should I trust you in the summer with more loans? Like, why should I trust you with more loans? Like, if I'm looking at some of the guys we're bringing back, if you want to loan out some of these guys, bro, just loan Fofana back to Burnley, just loan Hutchinson back to Ipswich. If they're not going to be part of the thing, don't try and send them elsewhere. You fucked up on Cassidy as well. I forgot about that one. like just yeah, like the loans are a piss take. Honestly, they're terrible. Even the ones you work, you've managed to fuck up some way.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. These loans, for me, they're more about giving these players opportunities for them to go and prove themselves, and then we can make profit off them.
They're not getting opportunities.
I'm not looking. I can't name you one player that's on loan that I'm looking to have in my team for next season.
Then the way we're being run is pointless. Then it's complete pointless. It's a waste of time.
Why?
Because the whole point of buying these players. Hang on, no. So what's the point of buying Santos?
Send him off for profit.
That's not the point of buying Santos. It was never the point when we bought him.
Why not?
So hang on. So you're telling me, hang on. So you're telling me if we're buying that level of young player, so pays, so we're going to loan him out when he comes in and we can sell him for profit. That's the point of
man. I hope that doesn't happen.
No, that's the point then. That's the point of these guys.
I mean, some of them will pull through. I know that.
No, that's not the point of these. That's not the point, and it never has been, and never should be. And even if you're trying to sell some of these for profit, they'll inevitably get sold for.
So what is the point then of these players?
The whole point of most of these players is to bring them in, develop, and have them in the squad, so you have a dominant young team that can dominate for multiple years. That's the point.
I don't think any of these players will be near the squad until they're at least 22,
if they're not
23.
near the squad, cool. If they're not near the squad, that's because their development has been fucked. Because Angelo Santos, when we signed him, was spoken about, and we've already seen he works in this squad, by the way. That he's better, that he works in this squad and can hang with it in this squad.
Yeah.
We've already seen that, by the way. So if he doesn't make it, that's because we fucked his development.
But like I think both of you guys are right though. I think it's right in the middle. I genuinely think that the idea of this model that we're doing with the whole youth model is there's going to be some that come in and succeed and some that come in that we're just going to sell. Like it's the same idea I have of this pure profit thing that everyone's to say, oh, we're selling Gallagher for pure profit. I'm going to make a fucking bingo card, Chelsea content creator bingo card, pure profit, minerals, fucking multi-club model, like all the buzzwords. I'm going to put them in there. But this idea of pure profit, like, okay, if you really think the owners were in this for pure profit, why didn't they sell Colwell? Why didn't they sell Reece James? Those players are pure profit. Why? Because they're good enough for Chelsea and they see potential in them. And they've heard from the scouts that, or whatever, the recruiters, these guys are good. Let's keep these and build a team around it. Conor Gallagher right now is up in the air. He could potentially stay. He could potentially go. But I think it's in the middle. If the player is really good enough, like Kennedy Paez, who could potentially be really good enough for the team, he stays. And then
Marshall, can I respond to
go
that?
from there. Of course.
So what I'd say to that is, like, it's again, all of this about the loans, it's all about the opportunity that the players are given. Like, the fact of the matter is, none of us here are under any illusion that we're going to have a 100% success rate with these loans. Like, of course, there are players that are going to struggle and whatnot with their performances. The problem is, we are having loans where the players aren't even being given the chance to test themselves, whether or not they will succeed or struggle. And at that point, you just don't know, and then your market value goes down because you're not playing and you're not in the limelight. So that's the problem. But you can from the club's point of view, like, say Broja he started all of the games up until now. Mm-hmm. That's a good loan from the club, but he didn't perform, and that is an acceptable failure on the club's part. But what's happened, him not getting an opportunity, that's not acceptable. That's the difference.
Also, as well, I just want to point something out, is the fact that, like, there is a reason why a lot of Chelsea fans have spoken about the fact, and I am one of them, that at the very least Hutchinson and Fofana should get a chance in pre-season next season. I'm not even certain that they should stay or whether they should be given a chance in pre-season. Why is that? Because of the way they performed while on loan.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's also going to heavily depend on the manager, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we mentioned Angelo at the end of Ziad's stream earlier. Apparently, he's injured at the moment. He doesn't start.
Yeah, we'll talk on that. Yeah,
like, he doesn't start for them. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the last time he started for them. Actually,
Nor does Hutchinson. I just have a feeling, it's not in a bad way towards you. I just have a feeling you're expecting too much from this loan system that we're getting. Like, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if more than half these players don't have a future at Chelsea.
Then that's a failure on us. That's a failure on us and a failure on the system.
I think there might be some special players in terms of Santos, maybe. Like, he's maybe a special one. Maybe Angelo, a couple. But I'm sorry.
Angelo doesn't play,
we're
bro.
signing a
Angelo
100
doesn't even
million
start.
striker in the summer. What is Fofana going to sit back on the bench? And then what happens to Jackson? Do you know? Like, I don't know.
Cool.
I don't think.
So yeah, this is where like it comes down to, say we don't sign a striker, then what's the answer? If the manager at the time thinks I have enough here in terms of Fofana and Jackson that I can get enough out of this season to challenge for top 4, and then we go again next summer, that could be an option, especially if you use the money elsewhere, like on a winger, right? But like the thing for me is, if you look at all the guys we've signed, right? Casade was the best youth player out of Inter Milan's academy. Now there's people talking after this season about selling him. That's nonsense. Because he's had good loans. He had a good loan at Reading. He had a good half a loan at at Leicester, and we cancelled it for no reason. Legit no reason.
It's on the manager though, for the most part.
Like, look at where Santos was before we sent him to Forest, and now look now. Go and look at where Hutchinson was thought at before this loan to Ipswich, and now. Like, the whole point with these guys, whether you want to sell them for profit or development to get in the team, is you need them to perform while on loan, which means they need to be at clubs where they're going to play. If they don't perform when they play, that's on them. But if they're not playing, then that's on you. It's the same with Gilmore back in the day. It's the same with so many guys. Like, there's a reason why certain guys back in the day didn't want to go out on loan.
I haven't done this in a while. I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate here, right? Because I agree with you. I am frustrated. I am frustrated with the loans, but don't you think also some of it is okay? Poch, you want tall, you want another midfield. I understand Lavia's injured. I understand Ugochukwu's out. Okay, I'm gonna bring you back Cassidy, and Santos is gonna come back. And then Poch is making the calls like, I don't want to use Santos. Let him develop. And he sends him. And then now it's like, fuck, we thought you were going to use him. Now we have to scrap up a loan last minute.
It shouldn't be Poch's call, though.
No, then that's short-sightedness. And that's short-sightedness. Because, like...
Don't laugh at me, chat.
That's so short-sighted. Because if your whole thing is planning for the future. So if what Cassidy... whether from a monetary standpoint or from a development standpoint is going to stand, it's going to be way better for him to spend the rest of the season there. You tell Poch to shut up, deal with it. Here's Santos, do what you can. Because you've done that with every other player, or not every other player, with a lot of players. You gave him Palmer, he didn't want him.
Everyone except Madsen, yeah.
Like they've done that. So like, why now go short-sighted in that respect of just cancelling a guy's loan for no reason when he was playing?
Yo, I forgot he didn't want Palmer.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
I forgot about that too. Was the idea?
He didn't know who Palmer was. Had no idea who he was. Until they bought him.
Bro.
Until he was in training. But like, that's the thing. It's like, and that's where some of their decision making is a bit weird and doesn't quite line up. Some of it's really short term, and some of it's really long term, and it doesn't mesh. Like the short term and the long term stuff don't mesh, because you're trying to plan with this clown in charge. But yeah, and that's why I just go back. Like, I think just the loans in general have just been poor. Like the fact that we see the things that Fofana's doing and what he's doing in the league and how he's performing, and the fact that all of us here, I think he can either get into this team and be involved, or he's going to go onto a loan to a better team and probably perform, or he's going to get sold for profits because he's had a good season sport where you can sell him for profit because the demand is there. That's the thing, is you can't sell these guys when the demand isn't there, and if they're not playing and they're not performing, there's no demand.
If you could keep on playing Jackson on him.
There'll be a little bit of a demand for guys that are English, in terms of for Premier League teams that are English, like trained, have come through English academies, but like that like they'll try and get spend as little as possible for those guys because it'll just be for registration reasons. It'll be to fill out their squad and for registration reasons. Like you might see a Leicester next season. Say they sell Daka or Iheanacho and they just need someone, or they need an English player they might sign a Broja, but they're going to try and spend like 15 mil. Because why would they need him to start every game? They don't. They've got better players ahead of him. Like, it's that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you guys, and listen, I agree. Scott, I agree with you. You guys did mention Angelo earlier, so I did want to also bring up this little bit of news. He's injured apparently, so let me just pop this up right now. Oh shit! I keep pressing the wrong one today. Chelsea have suffered a fresh injury blow with Strasbourg lone star Angelo Gabriel potentially out for the rest of the season. Angelo has been one of the key creative talents at Chelsea's partner club, Strasbourg, but is back at Cobham to gain a second opinion on an ongoing hernia problem. Well, that sucks. But yeah, I think towards the end of he's out for the season now, but towards the end of the season, I don't think he was playing as much either.
He was playing actually a bit. He started a game like 4 games ago. They lost 3-0. But
yeah,
so we've got a lot of fucking right wingers.
Yeah, we have. But this is what happens when you. This is what happens when you stockpile, and this is what happens when I say, and this is where a conversation needs to be had. And this is where I talk about Hutchinson, where it's like you can't ignore the fact that this guy is performing.
Let's have the convo then, Scott. Let's have the convo. Noni or Hutchinson?
I haven't seen enough Hutchinson to say. Well,
I've seen some Hutchinson. It's more. Do you know what the problem is? No, it's not that. The problem comes to who the fucking manager is in the summer. Honestly, like that's the biggest problem. Like what I will say about Hutchinson, as I said earlier, I want him at least to be given a chance in pre-season. That's the bare minimum I want for him and for Fotana. I want them to get a chance in pre-season to see how they look in and around the squad. Because it's like if these guys are in and around the squad and performing to a level that's either on par or better than some others around them, then then a conversation needs to be had, right? Like if he's outperforming Noni and doing better than Noni and is doing more with the limited minutes that he's given, then a conversation will need to be had. But as I said, that it's going to end up being a conversation for whatever manager we have, because that's the biggest issue right now. But yeah, but as I said,
Noni wasn't even in pre-season last summer.
No, he was out with an injury. Yeah.
Or I think he just came back from under 21s and he got.
It was the European Championships,
and we did
well after.
So where do you stand on that though? That same question you just asked Scott.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Just based off the timeline, I'm starting to think very low key. Noni's starting to become underrated. Very low key. I think he's a good player.
With that, actually.
I thought he's always underrated.
I think he's a good player. He's talented. And I did say when Palmer walked in, I knew Palmer was better than him. I watched a few games at FMF City, and I watched both of them in the under 21s. I knew Palmer was a better player. But Noni, if you think about it, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. But when he had got the opportunities, he's performed. You look at the games in the cup, even the other day off the bench, the few odd starts in there, he's done okay, he's done well. I think he's starting to be low-key underrated. So I actually like Noni as well. Hutchinson, I haven't seen. I just saw the guy won Player of the Month, and that's it. I haven't seen anything about him. But the thing is, you got Hutchinson, you got Noni, you got what's that guy's name? What's the guy? Angelo. One of them's got to go. Surely.
I agree. The thing
they're
to me,
all around the same age, profile probably. Even left-footed, dribble, whatnot.
You can throw Palmer in that as well. They're all around the same age group. They're all in between the ages.
Palmer, we know ain't going nowhere, bro.
No, but I'm talking in terms of that you need to include him in that in a sense, not because he's going, but it's a case of and this is the issue we've got where it's you look at, for example, Angelo and Hutchinson and whatnot. It's how long is Angelo going to spend out on loan? What's the plan there? Because is the plan for 3 or 4 years? Until he's 22? Because at that point, if Palmer's 24, is a consistent player and is playing to a consistent level, where's the pathway for Angelo?
I can't lie. Angelo's only turned 19.
And that's my point. Is
I know he's turned 22, so
yeah, they're all around the same age. They're all around the same age kind of group. Obviously, not
19, 22, yeah, probably.
Between the ages, instead of about 19, about 21 to 18, 19, they're within about 2-3 years of each other. Which I'll be real in football terms, it's for wingers, it's not, unless you can massively change your game up, it doesn't really matter that much.
To be fair, I don't think we need to make a decision on Angelo. I think he's a player that you can go on loan.
He'll 100% go on loan. I'm just talking about again, this is long term, and it's bro, I don't really want to touch the winger spot outside of a left winger. But even then,
the problem we've walked into is Hutchinson is performing, and it's the case of you either put him in your team and let him cook, or someone else will come and grab him. And I think his contract is expiring as well. So this is
next summer,
right? So,
he's got one more year left.
Whether we like it or not, this Hutchinson is a conversation that needs to be had. He's either in the team or he's out, because Ipswich will buy him, or a championship who are on the top winning it will buy him. A Premier League side will probably grab him, and he will leave. So that's a conversation that needs to be had, right? Noni, Hutchinson, Sterling. I mean, for me, Sterling you get rid of.
Yeah, I agree.
On those wages.
That's the thing is but they didn't do this against. Again, it depends on what the next manager wants, because if there's a way, right, you could go, okay, I'm not advocating for this, but there is a way you could go like, okay, Noni moves to the left, for example, and you use him as more of a like direct get down the byline kind of winger. I know it's not massively what his game is, but it could work. And then you have Hutchinson come as the backup on the right, like that might work. If Palmer moves into the 10, like I don't know. And this is the unfortunate, as I said, this comes back to the unfortunate problem that we haven't walked into, that we've caused for ourselves, where we have so many players in so many positions that are all in the similar age ranges, and this would be fine if we had more game time and more just more opportunities for these guys to play, but we don't. So what's the plan? Because like when Lavia comes back fit, what's the plan? Is he going to be on the bench all the time? Like I'm okay with that, but then that means Gallagher probably has to leave. Where does Carney fit in this? When Nkunku's fit, like where do all these guys fit when everyone's fit?
Okay, so this I didn't know. Hutchinson's played in the attacking mid 38 times, and he's played as a right winger 47 times. So he's played in the mid as well. He's mainly similar to Palmer.
Right. He's mainly played
Paez
on
isn't a left
right,
winger, is he? No, Paez is a midfielder. I'm pretty sure, right?
I mean, Paez is like 12, so I think we're going to.
I think he plays either on the left wing, or he's like a number 10.
So Hutchinson looks like he's a similar profile to Palmer in terms of the 10 and the right.
I mean, I think, based off of this conversation, it's very clear someone is going to get sold. Someone is going to get sold.
Oh, yeah, no,
we can't have all these players. Yeah,
players are going to get sold. The thing is, talented players are going to get sold. And it's like I think what we have to not do. We spoke about this before. Not get attached to players, because otherwise it's going to suck. Like it's going to suck because there are guys I like that are probably going to get sold, and it's going to suck a little bit. But it kind of needs to happen. It's just as I said, this is a conversation, and this is something that needs to be worked out. Because right now, there are people in position. There are too many people for the positions for it to make sense and for it to fit. And I don't know how it's going to work when everyone comes back. I understand, obviously, we haven't really had that, but you hope at some point the injury issues are going to stop for the most part. We'll have the odd injury here and there, but when everyone comes back, I don't understand where everyone fits.
Yeah, but one thing I did want to mention too when it was spoken about earlier is I don't like when we have conversations about Mudryk that for whatever reason, Nani Madueke gets lumped into it. Like you can't talk about Mudryk without talking about Nani. I think it's ridiculous because I think it's disingenuous to the price tag that we got Nani Madueke for. We got Nani Madueke for about 30 million euros or pounds, maybe
30 something. I can't remember exactly.
30 something, which is nowhere near the 60 that we got Mudryk for. So for the price tag, Nani Madueke, I feel like he's been all right. Pretty good, I would say. And you can see on the pitch, if you do the eye test, obviously you can see which player has been more consistent and better.
It's not even just that for me. It's the biggest thing is why I keep going. It's game time. That's the biggest argument I kept giving for Mudryk when they last season. Mudryk, we've seen more of him this season to kind of judge him off of. Madueke, we've seen next to nothing.
But even in the short time we have seen, I've been happy with the performances.
Yeah, he's had inconsistent games, which he's going to as he's a young player. But it's it's so hard to judge because he'll play 2 games, one of which he'll start, one of which he'll come off the bench. Then won't play 6. Then he'll play another 2 games. Again, the same situation. He'll start one, come off the bench. So you trying to judge a player off that is so difficult.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Scott. We really listen. You lot don't. I'm gonna say something, and I said it before this guy even joined City. Bring me Jack Grealish, bruv. That's what I'm talking about, man. We need We need the left winger. Bring me Jack Grealish, man. Jack Grealish or Jadon Sancho.
I'm not saying no to Jack Grealish, but my question is, again, I've got two questions. Number one is, actually, I've got three questions. One is
okay, well, hold on. Before you go into your questions, Scott, hold on to those three questions because we're gonna get into Jack Grealish because
write them down,
I also do want to bring up Sterling. I think Sterling's been a big discussion, and he's going to be in the discussion about Jack Grealish, right? I think Sterling is another one that we need to discuss. And so let me bring up some things on Sterling real quick, and then we'll get into the discussion. Sterling, to the Chelsea owners, Raheem Sterling was a marquee name who could be unveiled with a glitzy Beverly Hills photo and justifiably paid at the level of a Premier League superstar. This is fundamental misidentification of what Sterling might have doomed his Chelsea chapter at its conception. Then we have more here. Sterling has apologized on Instagram. A director responds that isn't happy with the Chelsea fan disrespecting Sterling, which I understand. But bro, no need to apologize. We appreciate you obviously responding to Sterling and hushing the critics going on here. Privately, Raheem Sterling acknowledges he was poor against Leicester, which good. I hope you realize that you have enough self-awareness to realize that. But he must feel like he is trying to win over a group of fans who have never made him feel welcome since his 47.5 million pound move from Manchester City in 2022. Raheem Sterling was never a candidate for the Chelsea captaincy, but he is viewed as a big brother by many of the club's younger attackers, an example to follow in terms of his application. Raheem Sterling is determined to shrug off the Boo Boys and make a success of his Chelsea career. He is ready to snub reported interest from Saudi Arabia this summer and is determined to win big trophies at Chelsea. Then Carney Chukwemeka commenting on Sterling handling criticism. 100% Raheem Sterling is an experienced player who has had an amazing career. We know that a great footballer. We know what a great footballer he is. He has had goals, assists, won so many penalties this season. It happens at the end of the day. He is human. The players miss chances. He had an off day, and for sure we stick behind him. Let's not forget, he got an assist for Cole's goal, which, yeah, I get that, but still a shit game. Cardi Chukwemeka says on Raheem Sterling is like a big brother. For us youngsters, especially for me, Nani, and Cole, Raheem has helped us a lot since we've come here. He is always on us, showing what we can do well and what to improve on. He is always on us inside and outside football. Raheem is a big part of what we do. He is like a big brother. The strength and feeling from the fans towards Sterling in recent weeks has surprised some Chelsea insiders who thought they had seen it all before, according to Matt Law, which this kind of says nothing. But and then lastly here, Raheem Sterling is increasingly likely to leave Chelsea in the summer, and his preference is to join Premier League rival or embark on a fresh challenge in one of Europe's leading divisions, which is coming from Give Me Sport. We will see what happens, but going back to what Scott had wanted to ask, and we were bringing up Jack Grealish potentially. Maybe would we entertain that if that were to be offered to us on the table? And I would say yes. I do like Jack Grealish a lot, but Scott, I don't want you to forget your question, so go ahead and continue what you were saying. You forgot all those questions.
No, I didn't realize I muted myself. First question is, how much is he going to cost?
Jack Grealish?
Yes.
Gotta be
50 million.
I think they would accept 55 million.
50.
I think 80.
What?
Whoa! I don't think so.
Yeah, Marshall's on crack.
I think Man City would sell. Wait, we're talking about Jack Grealish, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
80 million.
I think Man City would try to sell Jack Grealish for 80 million.
No, but what would you pay?
Oh, what would I pay? Oh, I would pay 50. Yeah, I agree with Ziad.
I don't think we're getting 50 personally, but second question I've got is, are we getting him instead of the big striker then?
Absolutely not.
So with the big striker, okay.
100%.
How's he fit in the team?
Starts left winger, easy.
And he can create chances.
He can create
how's he helping the attack in general in terms of goals? And
he can help get goals. He's very creative help for the striker. Having creating players like him and Palmer the team would be amazing with an out and out finisher. Hopefully you sign one. Yeah, man. I think I've always rated him. I personally think when he was at Aston Villa, I think he was the best player in the league when he was at Aston Villa. He was top 3 minimum when he was at Aston Villa.
Playing as a left winger, but first.
No, he was still playing 10.
Like a left forward, like a left 10.
He was playing in the midfield 3 as an 8 on the left.
Scott, let's have this comment. I'm gonna bring it up right now. Bro. Anyway, the point is, the people that say it's another Sterling is the latest argument I've seen in my life.
Oh no, it's not. It's not another Sterling.
Of all, he's a year younger than him.
Yeah, he's better.
Let's hope we don't make the same mistake and don't put Grealish on 300 grand a week. That's the first one.
The reason I basically asked that, especially like the fit question, is I've said this before. Like for me, if we're getting another winger, I want a winger that's going to assist in goal scoring, which Grealish isn't.
Really?
No. If you're buying Grealish, I'm expecting him to help in a creativity issue. Like he's going to help create.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm not expecting him to score goals. That's not what you sign Grealish. That's like if I'm expecting a winger to score goals, I'm signing Leao. I'm signing Vinny Jr. I'm signing Rodrigo. I'm signing these men. I'm not signing Grealish for him expecting him to score goals consistently because he's never been that guy.
No, I mean, I misheard you. I thought you meant no. I meant he can help the striker and the people around him to score.
No. Yeah, no, I know, but like more in a creativity standpoint. But I'm saying if I'm signing another winger, I would like to get the next winger we buy to be more of a goal scorer. Like to have both, but be primarily going to help in the goal scoring section of that, because I feel like we've got so many guys who are more of the creator. Like we've got Palmer, we've got Mudryk. I'd say is more of that. I'd say Noni's a bit of a mix, maybe a bit more of a goal scorer, but he also doesn't play. So yeah, I'd say Carney's the same when he plays out wide. Like I want someone to be a bit more goal oriented.
I definitely understand what you're saying, because you wouldn't expect Grealish to get 10, 15 goals. But for me, Grealish it's more of an opportunity. I'm hearing they want to get rid of him. I like him as a player, and I would like to see him at Chelsea. Is there better options out there? Probably is, but just more of a biased side of me as a preference to see Grealish at Chelsea. That would be quality, bro.
And then to answer Scott's question from earlier before, what would he provide for the team? I feel like unlike Sterling, yes, I understand Jack Grealish dribbles a lot and creates chances, but unlike Sterling, I feel like Jack Grealish's game is more geared towards giving another person the opportunity to score, and so he plays like that in that sense. Yeah. It's more like his game is let me get you an assist rather than Sterling, where it's like lately Sterling it feels like let me put this game on my back, and it's like my guy, you're failing 9 times out of 10 when you do that.
Yeah, like him and Sterling are not the same type of player. I fully accept that.
Yeah. But I don't feel like it's another Man City reject. Plus, I feel like people want to forget Jack Grealish got injured twice this season. He's on his second injury. He's been out with injury for the most part. I'm pretty sure he got injured twice. But yeah, it's not like he got benched by Doku or has been benched. No, he's just been hurt. So it's unfortunate.
I mean, yeah, it does say he's played a bit in the midfield, but from the games I watched him at Aston Villa, he was occupying the left hand side a bit.
Yeah, he can play as a central 10. Like he can do that, but yeah, you're right. His primary is the left flank.
Even his heat map for Aston Villa of 2015 down the left hand side. More, you could say his left, like a left wide 8-10 left on the wing as well. So yeah, man, bring Jack Grealish, man, bring him on, man.
Yeah, I think that'd be. I'd entertain it for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but for sure, I think Sterling definitely needs to go. In terms of the booing and the criticism of Sterling, though,
cry me a river, man.
I get it to a certain extent, but I agree mostly with Ziad. It's just listen, you get paid all this money, you're the highest paid player in Chelsea. You get paid all this money. Listen, at the end of the day, I understand players are humans too, right? They're not, impenetrable to this kind of criticism emotionally, right? But regardless, my guy, you have enough money, you can pay a therapist. You play on the best pitch on earth. You guys remember that meme of the Spanish guy saying, you get the best balls on earth, well inflated for you every day. You get the best boots to wear, the nicest kits where you can breathe and your fucking balls breathe. You have all these luxuries. dude, I think you can withstand some heavy criticism, especially when you're not performing up to scuff.
Thing is, it's not about the wages or the luxuries. It's about an experienced player who's making the same mistakes every single week and not doing anything to rectify that. That's what honestly, it really is about.
And honestly, like going off of that, Oliver, also it seems that there's a lot of Sterling's game that seems to be coming from selfishness. Why are you taking away, like, this idea that Poch, like, again, this is what Poch pisses me the fuck off. Oh, we don't have a designated penalty taker. Oh, really? Really? We had Palmer taking penalties up until that point. Like, really, we don't have a designated penalty taker? You fooled us all, man. But, you know, for Raheem Sterling to come and say, hey, Palmer, let me get the ball, and Palmer hesitantly taking it, hesitantly giving it to Sterling, and then Sterling misses it like that for me is like, okay, you clearly want to get your GA up. You could tell, like, the decision making is absolutely horrible. It's gotten worse and worse. For me, it's like this guy is thinking about himself and his career, but like, bro, you really should be thinking about Chelsea. And I've never felt this vibe from him that he's like, he loves this club. He wants to play for this club. It's always felt very mercenary vibes to me. I don't know.
But he was Sterling. I don't like to say this about players, but he's one of those players that looks like he does not give a shit.
Yeah.
He is here. I'm on amazing money.
Like a certain
I'm living my dream in London, the city I've always wanted to live with. My family are here. I grew up on this. And another point, he took the worst free kick I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, free kick was really
that is not even an over exaggeration. That is the worst free kick I've seen in my life. And also, I know Scott left, but he said, Mr. Grealish, what got me the move here was playing on the left wing. Jack Grealish on his move to Man City. His form as a left winger got him his move to Man City. So listen, bring him home, man. Jack Grealish, Chelsea. You heard it here first, man.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, you did hear it here first, but I've been saying this for a while. I think back in the day, I said before Jack Grealish went to City, I was like, dude,
I
want Grealish in a heartbeat.
Before City as well, man.
Before he went to City, yeah. I think a lot of Chelsea fans were like, yo, can we get Jack Grealish, please?
Biggest problem was that 100 million release clause. That was a bit
he
was a good player at Villa, but he wasn't 100 million. And he never has shown that at City, even at his best.
I mean, I agree. He hasn't
not
shown
100
that
million
at City, but I don't know. I feel like he was up there. I don't know. He was really, really good at Villa. Really, really good.
I don't know about 100 million. Like, I don't know what figure I put on it, but I was scratching my head at the time, thinking, really, like. But hey, listen.
It was a release clause, wasn't it? Though? Yeah.
It was, and that's the problem. You can't negotiate that down. So it's a matter of do we or don't we.
I get it. But as we start to wrap up and close in on the end of the show, which what did I say in the beginning of this thing? I don't expect this to go for 2.5, 3 hours, but then what the fuck happens? We get into these conversations and the show goes for a lot longer than I anticipate, and there's so many topics that I had to save for the next show because I don't want to keep going for more than 3 hours, but here I am, right? But as we get close to wrapping up the show, if you're still listening, big up to you. Hopefully we're helping you get through your day if you're listening to this on playback and all that fun stuff. If you are, be sure to smash the like button as well. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed, the ownership, Jack Grealish and Sterling, all these, the players, the Angelos and all that stuff. Let us know down below in the comments and check out some of those other links as well that we have down there in terms of content. But let's go to the last two topics that I have for you guys here. Just quick recap topics or a quick recap topic on some Chelsea players pretty much leaving for duty. So we have some news here of... from Nazar Kinsella. Chelsea face a headache leading up to the start of next season with a significant number of players in line to be called up for the Olympics. It is an under-23 tournament, and they could be hit hard because of the high number of youngsters they have. I'm pretty sure... Well, let me continue, actually. So we continue on here. Gareth Southgate confirms Cole Palmer will not be playing Brazil at Wembley tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's because of injury or not. I don't think it's because of injury, but...
What I will say is he has reportedly been training on his own ever since he got to the camp.
Okay. So...
Him and a few other players, by the way, as well. So I don't know if that's a thing, but...
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Chilwell got called up. Cole Palmer got called up. And Levi Cole, I believe, got called up.
No, Gallagher.
From England. Gallagher? Okay, Gallagher got
called
called
up. I think Cole was still injured.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, Gallagher got called up from Chelsea. Obviously, Enzo and Caicedo as well to their respective national teams. So a fewer players are away on national.
I don't think Caicedo played a single minute in the game that Ecuador just had.
Man needs rest, bro. So let him rest. Malo Gusto is in line to be selected by hosts. Wait. Chelsea fans. Okay, so yeah, Malo Gusto. This is going with the first tweet that I mentioned. Malo Gusto is in line to be selected by host France, who will be managed by Thierry Henry, and vowed to pick their strongest available squad. Benoit Badiashile, Leslie Uwachuka, Wesley Fofana, Enzo Fernandez, Mikhailo Mudryk are also eligible for the Olympic tournament. I think the clubs have the ability to veto the call-up, though.
That's what I read, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I read. So going into this further, Malo Gusto has a virus and was not feeling well this Friday morning. He will leave the French under-23 training camp and head back to London to recover, which, you know what? For another player who's been playing a lot of fucking football, let him rest. Let his muscles recover. Let his body recover. I know he's sick. It doesn't help, but hey, rest those muscles, man, because like my man has been running relentlessly for so many games in a row now. So it's kind of a little bit of a blessing in disguise for him and Palmer. And I'm kind of happy to see that some of these internationals managers are actually opting to rest the players. Pochettino's running them to the ground. So yeah, these are some of the players getting called up. It's just some news. I don't know if Oliver or Prime, you guys have anything to add to this, but by all means, you'll let me know.
Not particularly, just outside of the fact that, as you say, it's good that they're getting rest. I mean, I don't know if that's voluntary from all of these managers, because obviously with Gusto, he's being sent back because he's now unable to play.
Yeah, he's sick.
So that's clear, and we don't know about Cole Palmer yet. I was tweeting, I think yesterday, because people were saying when Saka went home, because Saka's got on something as well and he's gone home, so everyone was like, oh, Palmer's going to start now. I'm like, nah, I think Bowen's going to start just because of Southgate being a fool. So I don't even think he was going to play anyway. So that's my prediction. But at the end of the day, what's happened has happened. So it's good that they're getting a bit of rest.
Yeah, no, these players 100% need rest. So I'm happy for that in that sense. But okay, going on to the final topic of tonight's show, and once again, big up to everyone who tuned in. Big up to United Spurs of America for the raid. Big up to Sarcasm City for the raid. And be sure to check out Sarcasm City tomorrow for the 10K subscriber special. So yeah, I will try to be there. Many people will be there. A lot of familiar faces. Be sure to check that out. But on to the final topic, which is Conor Gallagher's contract situation. We have some updates on this, and I think Chelsea fans are going to be a little upset, and I agree with them. So let's go on here. Fabrizio Romano, and I am a little surprised Fabrizio Romano has dropped this piece of news, considering he's usually kind of neutral in these situations, right? So Fabrizio Romano on the Conor Gallagher situation. I'm aware that there have been claims about Conor Gallagher's salary demands being a problem for Chelsea and holding up an agreement over a new contract. My understanding, however, is that it's not about Gallagher asking for crazy money or anything unreasonable for his new deal. What I'm told that it's about Chelsea deciding what they want to do with Gallagher and also taking into account the financial fair play situation. But saying that Gallagher is asking for too much salary is not accurate as far as I understand. And that's coming from Fabrizio Romano. Listen, I understand the bottom portion or the latter half of this tweet. The club doesn't know whether to sell him or to keep him. There's the pure profit aspect of the table. And again, I go back to what I said about Reece James and Levi Colwill. If these players are clear cut good for this team and the managers and the owners think so as well, they will not get sold. They have not been offered to Real Madrid or the Brightons or whatever, Liverpool's and so on and so forth, right? For a reason. They're standing on we don't want to sell this player unless you give us this amount of money. Which I think Levi Colwell, in his instance, I think Chelsea asked for potentially 80 mil to even entertain it. Which, okay, if you're gonna.
No, we just said he wasn't for sale. We didn't even entertain anything.
I don't remember, but I thought.
I think it was. I think it was the other clubs, like such as Liverpool. They were willing to offer 80 million, but we just blocked every single advance and said that he's not for sale. So there wasn't even a price tag in theory.
Yeah. So all in all, I think with the situation, it's like, bro, get it done. Get it done, because at the end of the day, like, I don't understand this. For example, you gave Lewis Hall a new contract and you still sold him. Why is the part where you're in a standstill because you don't know what to do with his future? Dude, just give him another contract, and if you want to sell him regardless. You did that for Lewis Hall. I don't know why you're stopping the buck at Conor Gallagher. Just do the contract. And at the end of the day, if you want to keep him, he signed a new contract on low wages because he's not asking for it's apparently, according to Fabrizio, he's not being unreasonable with what he wants, which good on him, unlike a certain Mason Mount. But good on him for that. And even if you have him in the books with the wages and all that stuff, it's not unreasonable. He's affordable, and you can sell him off later. You can still sell him to another club. So I don't really understand why this is at such a standstill for so long. Genuinely, I don't.
I just don't think they rate him.
But even then, just like sign the guy and just sell him again. Just sell him. Like, do what you did with Lewis Hall with Conor Gallagher, if that's the case.
I don't know why it's a different situation with those two, but I'm just looking at the way they've gone about Gallagher over their time, and I agree with it to an extent because I don't rate the player. So this isn't me trying to say, oh, they're evil owners and they're doing this to Gallagher. No, I don't rate him, so I don't really care at the end of the day. But the way they've gone about it, they've been trying to sell him ever since their first January window back in 2023. So,
but I think it's also fair to say that, like, I don't think, and none of us thought, right? I don't think Conor Gallagher's role in the team. I never thought that Conor Gallagher's role in the team would be this impactful. He's definitely improved under Poch. That's one player I can say has improved under Poch. He is nowhere near the player he was last season. He's much better of a player.
I just think that this ownership plan for Christopher Nkunku to miss this amount of time, and because if he was fit, then I don't know with Poch, but I think if Nkunku was fit, they would expect him to play all of these games that Connor's getting. I think that's a reasonable expectation.
Yeah. And I agree with that. But I think now they see the predicament that they found themselves in and how Connor has stepped up. And now it's like, well, that put a wrench into the situation. Now we have to contemplate whether or not we want to keep this guy or not. And if a good price comes for him, then we can go ahead and pull the trigger on our other plans, like an Osimhen or, whoever else, Gallagher'S or whoever they decide to get in terms of...
You compared it to Lewis Hall, though, and it's pretty similar, actually, because in this respect, because Lewis Hall was our best left-back last season, and he actually played to a pretty good level.
That's horrible to say, but okay, yeah.
I know, but...
I agree, you're right.
Facts are facts. I mean, technically Gallagher's our best 10 this season, and I don't think that's particularly good enough. Everyone's talking about leading the league in possession one in the final third. No, that's not what I want my 10 to do. I want him to do a bit of that and more of the other stuff. But anyway, so but Lewis Hall was our best left back last season, and what did? We flogged him.
Yeah.
Gallagher, in theory, could be our best number 10 this season, and they might still hold the same mindset that they have ever since they came here. They want to flog him.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. It's gonna be a riveting summer, I think, in terms of transfers and transfer outs. We're gonna see how much damage can get done, how much revenue we can bring in, and what players we move on. I feel like we're up for another big summer. I don't think we're gonna pull as many players as we did last summer, but there still will be big moves. Big moves.
I don't think we need to pull as many players.
I don't think we need to either, but there are other players that we are in consideration for. I wasn't going to bring him up in the show, but we just are running. We're way past the time that I anticipated us to be.
By the way, Marshall, just one more thing with Gallagher. Do you recognise my Avi and what this is?
Is this the banner that they're going to make for the guy?
No, this is a T-shirt that fans have made.
Oh wow, really? Yeah, if they sell Connor, we riot. I hope you riot. I hope you're not talk. I hope you actually talk.
I just want to say to those fans, I dare you to riot, because just like Scott said earlier, you're going to do nothing. You're not that guy. You're not going to actually put your money where your mouth is. So just stop it. Like, you're making a fool out of yourself, if we're being honest. I've only got this as my Avi for parody. You know, I'm laughing at this.
No, I know. Knowing you long enough now, I understand what the purpose of it was.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we'll see. Like, we talked about it earlier, and we had a whole segment on this. Like, if you're gonna talk your talk, then walk your walk. If you really want to have shirts and say you're gonna riot, then let's fucking see you riot. Then, all right. Invade the pitch. Do what fucking United did against Liverpool. Was it the Liverpool game? I think it was. I don't remember what it was.
I believe it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Liverpool way back game when. That got postponed like 2 years ago because the the United fans invaded the pitch to riot. So hey, if you're gonna do that, do it then. You know. Any final words, Stroudsburg C, before we close off, bro? You back from vacation? I don't think Steve is actually there. I feel like Steve maybe passed out. I don't know. Or maybe he's here to listen to the conversation. So, anyways, ladies and gents, no raid tonight. No one to raid. Everyone is on international break schedule. So, that being said, ladies and gents, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for everyone who's been here for the whole stream. So, big up to you. I think this has been the longest stream recorded for Casually Chelsea. And
I'll tell you what, instead of a raid,
break.
Instead of a raid, I got a suggestion for everyone. You might want to go and check out Staffy TV, the thing that Marshall did over there with Don. You know, if you want to elaborate on that, maybe.
Did you actually get to see it, Oliver?
I did. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So if you guys want, I mean, I have been doing content over on Staffy TV. I did make a post about it on Wednesday when unfortunately I couldn't do my stream because my computer wasn't ready. But yeah, guys, like if you want to see some good content, go over to Staffy TV, check it out. Me, Don, and Staffy got together and we discussed whose season was worse, United or Chelsea. And me and Don had some really awesome and solid points to really discuss and really just go over the season as a whole. But yeah, guys, go ahead, go there and check it out. I believe that on Monday I will be doing American Waffle over there. But also, I think we're going to be doing another Casually Chelsea show on Monday as well. And I think if all works out, okay, if I don't do a Casually Chelsea show on Monday because I'm going to be away this weekend, then we'll probably do it on Wednesday, and then the following Wednesday, probably a call-in show. I have to look at the Chelsea schedule and the fixtures, but big up to everybody who is here. Big up to all of you guys, the members, the panel, everyone who came and went. If you haven't done so already, be sure to smash that like button as it helps us out with the algorithm. Welcome everyone who just newly subscribed. I hope you've been enjoying the content. I hope this gives you something to listen to and watch over time to get you through to the national break, because I know it's dreaded and I know it's long. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, because it helps us out tremendously. We are on our way to 3K. Help us get to that goal. We have big plans for that stream when we do reach that 3K celebration stream. Excuse me. But if you haven't done so already, also hit the bell notifications so you're notified whenever we do go live. Check out the links in the comment section, in the description, sorry. Leave a comment, let us know your thoughts. And lastly, if you are a proper casual and higher tiered member, you get a shout out at the end of every show. You guys are the shit, as well as all our other members. But you guys are just a little bit cooler. All right. Big up to Hassan Nawaz. Big up to A. Solomon, Uncle Jester, Will, Adrian, Scott, Dark, OG Turbo Jesus, and EE. Big up to you guys for helping us out here at Casually Chelsea and supporting us big time, as well as everyone else who is a member. Be sure, if you haven't done so already, enjoy those emojis. Memberships, 99p. It's a good entry level to just enjoy the chat culture that we have here at Casually Chelsea, or Casually FC. So big up to everyone. You all have a wonderful night. Enjoy whatever games you're going to be watching from international break, if there are any ones worth watching. And Chelsea will be back soon, I promise. And the content will still be coming here at Casually FC. So big up to everyone. Have a wonderful night. And as always, stay casual. Peace.